Oh, we've been out for 2 weeks, but we bike. We are the men on the internet. My name is Kirby. Over there, it's
Sunil.
In the back, we have...
It's Chris.
It's Chris. Okay.
It's Chris.
And it's lit out here. All right, guys, let me give you guys a little bit of an update as to what's been happening to the men on the internet, okay? We've been busy,
Hey.
We've been cashing checks, stunting on people.
Hey, I didn't get a check.
Flexing. You didn't get that?
Yo,
you didn't get that Newsom stimmy?
Can I throw it out there?
You didn't get that Newsom stimmy?
Chris, if you broke, just say it.
I didn't get no check. I just want to let you know. If you was handing out checks, I didn't get one.
You didn't get the $600?
You actually at my address right now, so I don't know why you didn't get a check.
Hold on, you didn't get the $600?
No.
You didn't get them 6 bills?
You got the 600?
Heck yeah, my stuff is deposited already.
Yeah, I got mine like 3 months ago.
Damn.
You got the state stimmy 3 months ago.
I think it was like 2 months ago, actually.
What?
Remember, I texted you, right? I was like, damn, I got this $600 out of nowhere. It was like 2 months ago.
It came on a weird check?
No, it was direct deposit. In fact,
mine came a check.
When I got mine, the person who told me that it was coming, they got theirs a month before me.
Wow.
I didn't get no check.
Newsom.
He trying to pay you up.
He trying to buy them votes. He's like, I don't want to get recalled. Here's $600.
Hey, just letting y'all know, we in the hood.
The
This
ghetto,
the hood episode.
ghetto bird.
This the hood barbecue episode. Just want to let y'all know.
They keeping it safe. Hey, we got private jets flying over. You don't know about that.
That's the PJ rolling by. Real low.
Hey, we catch you on the flip side, Aubrey.
We still don't know if it's fireworks or bullets.
We'll figure it out.
I swear I got shot last night.
Oh my god.
All right, happy July 4th holiday weekend to everybody. We're excited to be bike, and we're going to be more consistent. We apologize, but we are making internal structural changes to the show that's going to take us to the next level. Okay, we got the highest level of people on the back right now, making things happen.
Level up.
Okay, the men on the internet is about to go global.
Yo.
All right, we about to be taking all over the Instagrams. We're gonna be taking all over the YouTubes. We're gonna be taking all over the Facebooks,
Spotify's.
One could say we were trying to go all over the internet.
It ain't nothing but a little bit.
What you did there?
It ain't nothing but a little bit of foolery.
Yeah. Hey, and we already got the end on the border. You know what I mean? Mexico's already on lock.
All right, so
all of South America.
Let's check in as soon as this plane goes away. Let's check in with everybody. So our leader and tie to the grand nations of India. How are things going over there?
Everything in India?
I don't even know. Yeah.
You tell me.
Life is good, man.
Life is good.
A lot of great things happening. Excited to be back with you guys on the pod.
That's right.
A lot of fun stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Weather's great. Not too hot. Not too cold.
But you know what? The last 2 weeks have been a lot of titty sweat for me. Like, it's been 108 and it felt 130.
Feels like.
Yeah, you never seen feels like weather?
Dude, I've been only on the East Coast. It's crazy. In the Midwest.
Yeah, like the weather will be like, yo, it's 98, but it feels like 400.
I've always felt it the other way.
Oh,
it's
really?
like it's 60 degrees outside, but it feels like negative 22.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I always see it hotter. I live in a valley, so I live about 3 inches from hell. All right, so whenever they say it's 100 degrees, it's 200.
This dude said I live in the valley like he don't live 10 minutes from me.
This is the valley.
Like I didn't pick him up and take him to. We all live 10 minutes from each other. We all live in the valley, my dude.
Well, I don't know if it's the hair making me hotter. I'm about to grow it out too.
Oh, really?
Are you growing it out?
A little bit. I mean, I know ladies like it when it has a little bit longer. I mean, lay it down. I'm about to put the do-rag on. I'm about to get the wave spinning for the
They
summer.
be like, hey, something's different with hair. It's like,
You know, it's something like
All right.
He wants to switch that subject real quick.
All right. Border Control Manager. Our resident Border Control Manager, Chris, how you doing?
I'm fine.
How are things at the border?
I don't know.
I don't think Kamala knows.
We gonna find out.
We'll see eventually.
We
We've been to the border. We're going to the border.
We're going to Georgia to find out.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So, anyways, what's been going on with you?
Not much. Work's been going good. My media company just released our first cover.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's
Go
the
check it
video?
out.
Good. Shout out to everybody who worked on that. Kelvin was our BTS photographer.
That's it. Executive BTS photographer.
Executive,
Just so
he was
you
the
know.
only one.
BTS, like
but,
the Korean
Behind the
group?
scenes.
Oh.
Not behind the scenes.
Yes. So we're looking good.
I thought he was being serious. Right? I was like, no, that's behind the scenes.
was it with Aubrey?
Tell people the name of the video so that they can find it.
We doing a cover series. Our cover band, I guess, is called Mi Gente. You can find us at Con Ganas Media, but as of right now, if you type it in one word, you'll find it on YouTube. If you put spaces right now, for whatever reason, you can't find it. But
Or
that's
check
okay.
the socials.
And the video is Ombre the Great.
Ombre the Great, the wonderful Ombre the Great.
Yep.
Beautiful
And
singer.
He's
Dude
singing
got
what song?
personality.
He's singing Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Ray.
Corinne Bailey Ray. So if you can't find Conganas Media, type in Ombre the Great. That's his real name, Degrate. And he's singing Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Ray.
Yep.
And you guys can check it out. It's really real dope. It's kind of like a backyard scene that they turn into a whole vibe. Check it out. The guy's a crazy good singer. And
Yeah.
one cool thing about Ombre is he actually is tracking his weight loss. So he just lost 20 pounds.
Yes.
And I texted him the other day. I was like, bro, we about to be city boys together because since I started this whole thing, I'm down 23 pounds.
Down 23.
Down 23
There
pounds.
you go.
Down 23. So I'm trying to get to that level, beat y'all in this whole little competition things.
go for it.
If
Do
y'all
you.
want to extend it another month, that's okay with me because this weekend I definitely gladiated some glizzies. So,
I don't know what that means, bro, but more power to you.
I was slopping down on
support
some
you.
meat. Like,
I support you.
Okay, for sure.
All life decisions.
All right.
Hey, Ombre also came out with an EP.
Oh, what's that called?
Ooh, don't ask me the name. But the EP is fire.
The support.
Hey, it's real.
How many videos are in the series?
As
people
of right
look
now,
forward to?
I've recorded 4. I don't know how often I'm gonna put them out yet, but I got 4 in the works, and we're gonna be working on another 4 pretty soon.
Let's go.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So congratulations on that. And something else happened. I feel like you're working on some stuff.
Yeah, I am.
working on some
On
stuff.
that whole sports tip. I should be putting out some content on my YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
I'll get you the deets next week.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Yeah. So I'm trying to have a real good summer. This weekend was a legendary July 4th weekend for me. I typically don't do the typical July 4th weekends. Sometimes I go to a little backyard event, get some burgers and things like that. But this time I went to a rooftop pool party.
Yeah, you did.
And it was lit, my guy. I was out there just having the time of my life, being sociable as well. And, anybody ever get scared to be social?
How so?
I feel like, okay, when I got there, right, I didn't really even know the guy that invited me. I knew him, but I met him 48 hours before the party.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay, so I was standing in the corner just playing with my hands in my pocket because I didn't see him up there. So it wasn't until I got the cosign from somebody who was up there, oh, you know the dude? Like, yeah, I know him.
For a whole 48 hours.
Good guy. And
his
then,
name.
and then they brought me into their fold, and it was all fold of beautiful people.
Wow.
And I was scared because I was like, damn, they all fine as hell. They're all 10s, and I'm a 9.9. So
You keep it humble, bro. Keep it humble.
That 10%, man. I'm telling you.
yeah, so I was a little scared. But once it all got to being cool, it was oh, this is actually not very hard. Being social is not that hard, but I was scared, and it maybe it's just because COVID a little bit too, just kind of being stuck in the house and not being that kind of social for a long time, maybe just kind of messed with me a little bit. But y'all not feel that?
So you took a bigger step than I would have ever. I would have never shown up to a party that I didn't know the people.
Well, shoot, this whole weekend I was trying to just shoot.
Trying to mingle.
Yeah, I was out Friday night. I left the house Friday night 11. I came back at like 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude that I met Friday night is the person.
You're really being a city boy right now.
Oh no, this whole summer is mine.
City boy summer.
legit.
My
That's
arms
dope.
I'm about to get what is them calling them tattoos that disappear? Mahente tattoos?
I don't like that. That's not what that's called. I just want to point
That is cover, man.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
No. It's called you know them tattoos that like brown.
Please don't Google that either. Those are henna tattoos.
Henna.
Yeah, you would disrespect Indian stuff.
Yeah, no, hentai is
Wait,
different.
Yeah.
that's Indian?
Yeah.
Yes,
Is
it
that bad?
No, but
Oh,
Hentai is though.
what is hentai?
That's Asian porn.
What you talking to me about Asian for?
Listen, bro.
You're the one who didn't know about glizzies.
Well, no. I said I don't want to ever hear you say that ever again in my life.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'm gonna say some more.
anyways, get to your point. Social anxiety.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
Asian porn. Go ahead.
See,
I
I
didn't
feel
get-
like COVID is gonna make it. Either people are gonna just wild out, like it'll be the craziest summer
facts, right.
of all time because it's kind of like a volcano. Everything's been under the undergrounds for so long, and people are just gonna explode. Or it's gonna be the opposite, where everybody just forgot how to talk to each other.
That's facts. You know what? There was a girl that came up to me yesterday, right? She was like all of 2'4", okay, 2 feet 4 inches, and she came up looking at me at my kneecap, and she
Shoot me straight to my kneecap.
she was looking at me talking about. She was like, "Yo, I don't know if I'm ready to sleep with anybody here." I was like, "Why would you even say that?"
That's a hell of a nice rating, man.
What kind of party were you at? This is one of the eyes closed shut like parties.
Freaky deaky party.
Maybe there was a lot of hentai going on.
Apparently.
Just shit going on.
I think there was a lot of man going on. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "Oh, for real?"
That's
crazy.
That's crazy.
Nah, you going wild? Huh? She will find herself too.
Oh,
I was
my
like, anyways, Bill Cosby, talk to me about him.
So Bill Cosby obviously was released. His appeal went through based off of prosecutorial misconduct. They were able to get him out, and he's free. And he's out there walking the streets. And some people are happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people aren't happy about it. But
All right.
He did time.
yeah, he was in
he's
jail
been
for
in
like 2
prison
years.
for like 2.5 years or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about exactly what happened. So Bill Cosby got tried in court. They found him guilty of sexual misconduct. They were saying that he was drugging women and then entering them digitally, which means that he was like fingering them.
Mm-hmm.
He did not get convicted of rape, but it was like sexual assault, sexual harassment, whatever. Okay. So he goes to prison. However, in 2005, he was in a civil case with one of the women where they said, if you admit to guilt here, we're going to make a deal with you where you'll never be prosecuted in criminal court. And I don't know what happened. Maybe they forgot about it or they didn't look into it or something, but he got tried in criminal court and he went to prison.
No, they did him dirty. They
12
used
years later.
They
12
used
years later.
They used a dirty like tactic to be able to.
What was the dirty tactic?
Well, they basically kind of made that deal, right? That said, hey, as long as you don't waive the fifth. Because you have the Fifth Amendment, right? The right to not incriminate yourself.
Yeah.
So he never admitted to any of the stuff that, like as far as doing the rapes and things of that nature. But what he admitted to, because he said, what he said in the civil case was then used as proof of the criminal stuff. So he admitted to bringing drugs, like the Quaaludes, and giving Quaaludes to the girls. And then he admitted, and then he said something. They asked him, do you think she was sober enough to consent? And he said, I don't know. Because at that time, right, like the whole like consent under the influence, right? That whole thing is, some people don't know, if you're drunk, can you consent? Some people think if you're drunk, you can't consent at all.
Yeah.
So he was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so then they used that as proof that, he was drugging these girls up and, assaulting them without consent and all these kind of things.
And his whole point was, he didn't bring the drugs to do that. It was just everybody was doing drugs.
Right.
And that is how the night ended.
And I mean, this was back in a time where, that stuff was happening a lot more. Sexual revolution, like.
Yeah. Tough.
But so the thing is, obviously, him getting off isn't necessarily that he didn't do these crimes.
Right.
It's just that
the legal technicality.
Absolutely. He wasn't tried in the proper way. So the judge saw it as a miscarriage of justice in the sense that, they said that he wasn't given his full rights as far as the rule of law to be able to protect himself. And because of the prosecutor's misconduct, promising him one thing and then doing another thing, he was able to be let go or vacate the conviction as far as that part. So now the debate comes is, most people, I mean, every, I guess, judicial scholar is saying, yeah, the way that he was convicted was in the wrong way. But now it's more of the moral side. Like, some people are saying, oh, well, a rapist is walking free. So that's, I guess, the judgment call that people have to make.
Okay. La. That is rough. But
it's being taken up by En Viv, the first iteration of En Viv, versus Mrs. Huxtable are going at it on social media over the same thing.
Right. This is a bit of a tough situation just because of several things. First, none of us were there.
For sure.
Like none of us were there, and it's hard to say what actually happened, but at the same time, when all these women came together, I think it was like 60 women who all said that they had these experiences and they felt like they were, being taken advantage of, or he, did them wrong. We got to take that seriously. That the fact that they're not saying he is not a criminal is important. I think that's important. And I think that when it comes to legality and the things of the law, I think that we do have to take it seriously because it has to be an even playing field for everybody.
Sure.
So if they did promise him that you cannot be criminally convicted, and that was the deal that was struck, especially when they took him to civil court and they were trying to get compensation for their damages, then...
Well, it was only one person in the civil case.
Oh, it was one person. That's right.
So there's only one person in the civil case, and like
it's
you
rough.
said, nobody is there. It's so much after the fact.
Yeah.
And obviously, we hope that. I mean, obviously, we don't want to say that these women are liars, but I think most of us hope that nothing like this actually happened, right? Because it's terrible, but obviously they feel like there's, when you have 60 allegations, that's something that's tough to say.
Yeah, it's even hard for me to talk about it a little bit, just because like it makes me a little bit sad. Like I don't even know. And in this realm, we had Drake Bell that just pleaded guilty to was it endangering children or something like that, and he was sexting a child, or he was doing something with a kid after a concert. But then Kyle Massey got charged for sending explicit photos to a 13-year-old. And I actually remember this story from a few years ago when they were trying to get $1.5 million out of him, and he didn't have the money, so now they're going after a criminal case. So I remember when this happened, and so when the news came out, I was like, didn't this happen a couple years ago? And they did a really good job of just kind of like, shutting it down. But I guess he didn't have the money to pay, so they're going after him criminally now.
I think there's that girl that got convicted of the sex trafficking too, Alex something.
She's an actress?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a few years ago.
But the conviction just came through.
Oh shoot, who was that?
Alex Mack, right? Allison Mack.
That just happened?
Yeah, recently that.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Man.
So she finally got convicted, and she's gonna do time for that
Oh
as well.
my gosh, man. This is like, oof, man. Well, my heart goes out to everybody who's a victim to any of these situations, and I just I don't know what to say, you know, because I feel like for a Bill Cosby case, like in the sense of legality, they got to do them right. Whatever they agreed to, do what you agreed to. Right. Do what you agreed to. It sets a precedent for all cases that move forward from here on out. Because if you cannot trust what happens in that court of law, then there's no civil. There's nothing that a person can trust in. You know
for
what I'm
sure,
saying?
it can't be a different legal system for different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So
and we have to as a society be okay with, not necessarily be okay, but we shouldn't want to put away guilty people in the wrong way, because that makes it easier to put innocent people away.
Yeah.
Using those same things. So, like I said, regardless of how you feel about Bill Cosby, whether you feel like he's guilty or innocent of these crimes or whatnot, we all need to celebrate the fact that the justice system prevailed, in the sense that something that was done the wrong way was the wrong was righted in that sense. Now, that some people feeling that a rapist is walking free. You know, I mean, that's up to whatever your moral standards are and what you believe and what you don't believe. But at least the justice system prevailed, in the sense that, a prosecutor that's breaking the rules, can.
Yeah. Let's not do the right thing or what people feel like is the right thing the wrong way. How do you feel about Phylicia Rashad and her statements and Howard University and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to nobody knows. You know what I mean? The thing that is upsetting or that bothers me whenever situations like this come is a lot of people that don't know for sure are just doing things, like, in my mind, irrational. So Phylicia Rashad, who knows Bill Cosby, probably, as far as being his onstage wife for so long, really good friends, all that kind of stuff, has a certain perspective of this, knows Bill Cosby better than probably 95% of the people commenting on this situation. And she believes that none of this stuff happened.
Is that what she believes?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And she thinks that, obviously her tweet was, the justice is finally served, and like the miscarriage of justice was overturned and things of that nature. And then obviously her statements that she's come out have now, she teaches at Howard, I guess.
She's the dean.
Dina Howard. And so now there's a big movement to get her removed. Because people at Howard are saying, why are you standing up for Bill Cosby, who they feel like is racist? Like I said, on Viv, rapist. What did I say?
Racist.
Oh, rapist. I mean, on Viv came out and said,
Janet Hubert.
Yeah, and said that she knows that all of this stuff is true. She has friends that still haven't come out that have been assaulted by Bill Cosby. So it runs pretty deep. But.
One thing that I do kind of like about this is that she said what she said, and they didn't just fire her. I think that is a good thing, because people are going to have thoughts and ideas that are different than everybody else's, especially when you're Phylicia Rashad, who is a close friend to this guy. People will be quick to just say, yo, we need to fire this person, or we need to get rid of this person, or whatever. But you know what? We're not all going to have the same ideas.
Sure.
We're not all going to think the same way. We're not all going to, you know what I'm saying? So I actually think that it's wise of Howard to have come out and said, yo, we don't align with these thoughts, but not be like, oh, she's done, out of here, right? I think they're giving her some kind of her sexual harassment training course that she has to take. But I do respect that she has her opinion, and she has the right to say it, and it is what it is, and she holds nothing against what happens to other women either. That if she came back and she said that she stands with women who have been hurt and harassed and all these things. She does stand with them, but her word is not the legal system. You know what I'm saying? Her word, whatever she says, that's not going to change the situation. She's just defending her friend. What I've noticed is when people say things that you just don't like, they just want to remove you from whatever thing. Anything that's good is happening in your life, you'll remove that.
Sure.
And it's like, no, dude, there has to be a space where people could disagree. Even when it's about these kind of tricky, difficult topics.
Yeah, I mean, overall sentiment is absolutely for sure, especially in this case where the truth is, there isn't like a legal conviction there that you could say like, he was tried in a court of law and he was found guilty, right? These are just allegations at this point, right? And so to say, oh, she deserves to be removed from that. Now, if for some reason it's blatantly true that, Bill Cosby is a rapist, in the court of law he was convicted and all this kind of stuff, and she's still coming out and saying, certain things and whatnot, that's a different story, I think, because at this point, if you're aligning yourself with, somebody who has been convicted of these terrible things or whatnot, that's a little bit different. Like, if she was like, who's a terrible person that's been convicted of certain, I guess you can't even say that because a bunch of people are best friends with Epstein and he's still,
he's still in that prison.
No, he's dead.
Oh.
Epstein didn't kill himself, but he ain't there no more. Ghislaine is, though.
Damn,
you think Epstein's still alive?
I thought I saw him at the script club.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. All right, something else serious. We're going to get all the serious stuff out. Derek Chauvin gets 22 years, 22.5 years for killing George Floyd. The reaction was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Not enough time. Your thoughts?
I mean, I think that was pretty close to, I don't know what the maximum sentence was, but
I think it was like, wasn't it 40 years?
I don't know. But from the people that I follow, nobody thought that he was going to get 20 years. And
I didn't think he was going to get 20 years.
So if that it came back with 22.5 years, I was actually surprised. So I mean, that's a lot of time. He's going to be spending, he's probably going to be, in the 70s? 60s, 70s when he gets out. So, I mean, justice, I feel like...
was served?
I mean, I don't know. In the sense of justice, I mean, a person's life was taken. So, I don't know if there's ever, justice for that. But it was more time than I thought. I think that it's nice that it's resolved. Hopefully, at least this situation is done with. Now we could just focus on how we make sure that situations like this don't happen again, right?
Yeah, and this sets the precedent too.
Right.
I did want him to get more time, but when I saw 22 years, I was surprised because I was like, oh, they're actually punishing him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real punishment. I wouldn't even want to do the 0.5 in prison. All right, but they gave him 22.5, and that's a big deal. And I don't know what's gonna happen to him. I feel like he might actually take it on the nose and just do the time.
I think they can't put him in Gen Pop.
No.
Nah, no way. They gotta
That's
put
what I was
him
gonna
in.
say. I was gonna say, is he gonna live that long to the 22
Nah,
years?
they can't.
I don't know. It didn't seem like
one,
he's
he's a
kill
cop.
himself.
Two, this is one of the most highly publicized cases, pretty much of all time.
He wouldn't make it a day.
Yeah, they got to put him in solitary or away from.
They got to put him in like a special prison too.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they do that with cops anyways.
They have special cop prison.
I don't think they could put cops in like general population with just criminal people that they've actually arrested and all that kind of stuff.
Jerry,
what I mean?
You still in here?
So
no, it's messed up. I was
and I'm glad there wasn't after the whole riots and protesting after George Floyd, you know, we used to talk and we were like, man, this is gonna only get worse, right? We still had the trial and the sentencing, and both of those two things passed without much, you know, like craziness. Like we all, I think the country as a whole was kind of tense to be like, what happens if, you know, he doesn't get he doesn't get guilty, and then what happens if they don't give him that much time? So the fact that everything went and there wasn't, you know, another like huge protest where, you know, it got crazy, I think I'm thankful for sure. Yeah. And you know, the whole thing for me is just how do we take steps to move forward, to have a common sense way of trying to minimize these situations as much as possible, because there's always going to be the one-offs, and there's always going to be, you know, these type of you know, things that happen when cops have, you know, the power over your life in certain situations. But overall, what can we do to, you know, make policing, you know, more, you know, better without the whole like defund and send social workers? I don't believe that's going to be like the thing for it, but you know, I do think that there needs to be changes made, and hopefully, you know, the country moves forward to make those type of changes.
Right. Well, rest in peace to George Floyd. You know, I hope that his memory continues to keep people on their toes, you know, and make sure that we recognize the problems that we have, and we always continue to find ways to solve them. Well, what else is sad?
I don't know about sad, but all the serious, you know, with all of the Olympic trials going on, a couple things popped off with that.
Let's get into it. So let's start with the smaller story first. The girl who she was standing there, Gwen Berry. Tell me.
So Gwen Berry. So this was the Olympic trials. And the thing about the Olympic trials is everybody's from the same country. Right. So all the winners have the same national anthem. And so they don't play it after every, like whenever they do like the medals and whatnot. Yeah. They don't play it every single time because it's the same anthem for all of that. So they have like a specific time when they play the anthem. And, you know, that is what, you know, when they play it. Now, for some reason, the anthem was played, I think 10 minutes later than the time it was specified. And when it was played happened to be when the women's hammer throw ceremony was going on.
Yo, before we get into this, what is a hammer throw?
It's the ball with the chain.
With the chain.
And they swing it around.
Matilda? It's not in there, but the principal Matilda was famous for the hammer throw.
You know the shot. You know what shot put is?
Yeah. When they turn around, they throw it.
Yeah, so they put a chain on that shot put.
Yo, don't ever say chain to me. I'm just kidding.
But we have to describe it. We have to use English words. I don't know how to help you.
I kid. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Low hanging fruit, but
all right. So they put the slaves.
Yeah, exactly. So it's they add a chain to the shot put, and then they swing it around and you throw it, and then whoever throws it the farthest.
So you're turning around. You're
using your whole body, so it's like a tornado spin, just like.
You ever play Super Mario 64?
Bro, you got an iPhone. Just look it. A smartphone.
Okay.
You got your little droid. Look it up if you need to. But anyways,
he called you out so hard, bro. You got your little droid.
You little bum ass frog.
Yeah. So anyways, so
I'm gonna look it up, man.
She was told that the anthem wasn't gonna play while she was on there, but it ended up playing. And then she, instead of looking at the flag and, you know, paying its respects like, you know, the other two people on the podium were doing, she ended up like looking straight into the audience or whatever she was looking at. And it's just a picture of her not necessarily, you know, celebrating, I guess, the anthem. And then she came out and stated, you know, the anthem doesn't speak for her people. And, you know, it was in further interview, she said, you know, Francis Scott Key, who wrote it, you know, was talking about slaves and didn't, you know, there's a third verse that, you know, is about slaves and whatnot. So the anthem doesn't speak for black people. So that's why she's not, you know, celebrating the anthem. So
Did she get first?
Third.
girl.
So the question becomes, all right, well, the dynamic is
We letting third placers talk.
right. But so one, she's representing the United States in the Olympics, right? So she says she doesn't have anything against the United States or anything like that. She doesn't feel like the anthem, it represents her community, which is the black community. So that's where the debate is. So
is she in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Is she in the Olympics representing Black Twitter?
I mean, you're the black person. You got to speak on that.
I didn't even know her. I didn't even see her at the cookout, so I don't even know. All right. The difficult part about this is I can't necessarily stand for that. Here's why. Number one, you didn't get first place. Okay? We don't let third placers talk. Next. If you are going... This is so annoying.
See, I don't think...
Hold on one second. If you're going to sign up to play the sport representing the United States of America, you gotta imagine at some point they're gonna play the song. This is the most lit song for America. Okay, they've been playing it without a trap beat for 200 years. Okay, they love the song. They be stopping in the middle of Walmart just to sing it. They love it. They're gonna play it. They're gonna sing it. They're gonna rap it. They're gonna do something at the Olympics where they are representing their country.
Right.
So, did you think it was just not gonna happen? So, I think the thing is, you can't go to the Olympic thing and then be like, yo, I'm here supporting America, not Black America, America, and then be like, I don't even stand with that. Yo, make a choice. Make a choice. Either I'm going to represent y'all or I am not. Now, here's the thing. She could, because I think she was wearing a black activist shirt or activist athlete shirt. I believe they were. You can do both.
Activist over athlete.
Okay, you can do both. I totally get that she's not happy with the situations that are happening here in the United States. I totally get that. But I think that the way to remedy that is to not turn your back on the nation that you're supporting. It's just odd. You're supposed to represent the change that is coming. You are the change. So you have to represent what America is going to look like tomorrow. So if you are turning your back, you're not making a change. You're abandoning the movement. So stand there. Represent the country that is paying you to go there, that are giving you all the resources to get this platform, and show off your shirt. Put your fists in the sky. Do something that is representing that, yo, I'm here, but I'm also representing what this place could be. But when you turn your back on something, you're essentially saying, yo, I'm here just to glorify myself, and I'm just utilizing the stuff that this country gave me to get into this position just so that I can turn my back on it. Yo, if somebody used me to get somewhere and then turn around just to trash on me, bro, you're not on my team anymore. And you got third place. You can't even swing a chain ball.
So you're upset with the way that she protested?
Yes, you can protest as much as you like, but don't do this weird thing of like chasing attention by turning your back and making weird faces and stuff. It doesn't make any sense.
So if she just would have stood there with her shirt on and her fist in the air, you wouldn't have had a problem?
No.
So how is the type of protest different? Because
I think that when you are turning your back and you're making weird faces and you're showing like, ugh, gross, ugh, nah, right? That's saying I don't support this at all. Mm-hmm. But you represent the thing you support. So it's just like saying, oh, yo, this place is trash and I'm representing that, but I'm not representing that. It's not sending a clear message. But if you get there and they're playing the anthem and the two other people are putting their hand on their heart and you show a victorious sign of, yo, I am here, I'm representing the place, but I'm also representing my causes and I'm showcasing that I am not on the same level as y'all. I'm appreciative for the fact that they brought me here, but I'm also trying to make these changes. That's a different way of sending that message. But when you're turning your back on the establishment that has put you there, then it's like, then what are you doing there? You had every opportunity in the world to just not be there.
See, I disagree. You're either okay with protesting or you're not. Now, if there's like, oh, you could protest, but only in this way, then it's not a protest. At the end of the day, if you want to protest, you should be either okay with any type of protest or not okay with any type of protest. Being like, oh, well, the fist in the air, I'm okay with, but taking a knee, I'm not okay with, or fist in the air, I'm okay with.
She could have taken a knee.
But I'm saying, like, you're deciding that one protest is okay, another protest is not okay.
No,
in my eyes, it's like, I don't necessarily agree with just like protesting in general in that way, because I don't necessarily think that what she's stating is true for whatever reason. But I'm cool with us being a country in like that you could protest however way you want to protest, and then your words need to back up whatever it is. Like, you got to a level where you have a platform. Whatever you want to do with that platform, you do. Now, I agree with you. I think it's weird to want to represent your country and then do something which kind of makes the rest of the world look at the country and be like,
right,
you're embarrassing the country that you're representing.
Weird.
But I think that would be done in any type of protest. I don't think that hand in the fist makes the world look different than not looking at the flag during the national anthem. At the end of the day,
but she was making like odd faces too, no? Right? That's what I saw.
It was like a look on her face, like frustration. But she's saying her frustration came from feeling like it was a setup for her.
Oh, come on! Nobody set you up.
So that's what she believes. Now, whether it happened or not, I'm more I think like you, like, why would somebody want to set up the third place shot like hammer thrower in the women's, it's an odd thing. Yeah, why single her out of everybody? You know what I mean?
Right.
But she thinks that because she had the shirt on and all this kind of stuff, that they postponed it just so that it timed up with, which I don't think, to me, it does seem a little clout chasing, but at the end of the day, when it comes to actual protesting, I don't think there's a right way to protest, a wrong way to protest. I think that a protest is just a protest. I would much better people use their platforms to speak about certain things, like, hey, you represent the country, everybody's looking towards you, say whatever you want to say. Any of these athletes that want to say whatever they want to say, great, you have your platform, you built that, do whatever you want with it. But I too agree, like, I think that when you're representing at the Olympics, you have, I don't know, it's a way of unifying. And so I always feel a little bit weird about when there's these protests at sports, because I think like sports is one thing that really unifies people. Right. And it's to make that political is just, it's just, I don't know, it's just like, it's nowhere, there's no like safe space as far as like being able to just enjoy and be cool without having to talk about politics and all that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm more against it. But
I think the biggest protest is just winning.
Protest is winning, and then speaking your mind. When you have 1 million followers, everybody's listening to what you tweet or what you do and all that kind of stuff. So success is the greatest, success builds the platform where you could actually make those changes. So I agree.
So I'm going to tell you why I feel a little bit weird about how it went around. So I think that people's language dictate what they're trying to say, and there's formal verbal language, and then you have body language. And I think that her body language did not showcase the message that she was trying to send. That's why I feel that way. It's not that she's wrong in protesting. I just feel like when you're on the world stage, your message must be clear. So to me, when I saw that and she was making the faces and she's turning her back, to me she seems like she's saying, yuck, I hate this place, don't ever align me with this. And that's the message that I got. I didn't get protest. I didn't understand that she was protesting. I just got that she was like, I'm black, I don't support this country hates me, period, point blank, period. So to me, that doesn't say protest. That just says like, yuck, I hate it, I hate this here,
But then that's also why I think that a lot of times that's what's wrong with our society, is we see an image and we just make our judgments based off of that image versus going in and out, because you didn't take the time to let me hear what she has to say and why she did this, right? You didn't do that research.
That's the moment that That's the moment. That's the moment that she created for herself.
True, but
and you have to be a clear communicator.
Nah, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, I mean, obviously a clear communicator is important, but it's not like it's not like this was planned for her. So in her mind, the national anthem wasn't gonna play. So she was just standing there with her shirt on, and that was just what it was gonna be. Then the national anthem played. So in your mind, if you're like, oh man, in your mind you're thinking, oh man, they told me that it wasn't gonna play. Now it is playing. The look, I don't think, was protesting necessarily the anthem as much as y'all are trying to play me like a fool. And that was the face that you saw. It's like, yo, I'm irritated by this, that you guys did this.
I mean,
then it became a moment. Now, should she have the composure and the foresight and the mental, awareness to be like, yo, this is going to be a viral moment. What you're doing is going to come off this way, that way. I don't know if she's calculating all those things in her mind at that moment.
I understand.
And so, like, I think in her mind, and that's why when you go to the interview, it was less about, I hate this country. She said, I don't hate this country. I don't hate the flag, all these kind of things. But I get what you're saying. Like, okay, well, but maybe.
You only get, my thing is like, impressions. Like,
sure.
Not everybody is gonna go and do the research and Google your name and do all this stuff. You get that one shot to be in the spotlight, and you gotta make it right. You know what I'm saying? Because people are gonna be judging that moment.
Right. And that's reality, at least.
And it's
whether
unfortunate to say,
way,
but like, sorry, we're not all gonna just run to go research you. So I think that when you have a moment, just do your best to effectively communicate what you're trying to say.
But the problem is there's no real way in any way to communicate based off of a moment, based off of going viral. Like, we've seen this in so many ways, especially this past year, of like clips being chopped up, put on the internet, and then this becoming the moment when you chop out the minute before, the minute after, which puts everything in perspective. But people just run with the moment without doing the research as far as what was this conversation about, what was the point that was trying to be made, what was the context in which this was being said. So I disagree with the fact that we need to normalize it's on the I think it sets a really bad precedent, even though I agree with you that it is the precedent, that we just go off of a visceral feeling and then make our choices based off of that. I think we need to normalize, hey, before we spew out an opinion, cancel somebody, or like start making judgments on somebody, let's try to learn a little bit more about the situation before we just react. Because a lot of people are getting canceled. A lot of people have been, a lot of people have lost friends, lost this, lost that, off of just moments versus actual like conversation and trying to see the other person's point of view and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I agree with you when you look at it. And if you're somebody who's like, oh, she's disrespecting America, she's out here like she hates America, all this kind of stuff, I get why you could read into that, but then when you actually hear her, you're like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't what it was. It was more about...
Like, I think you're actually kind of saying what I'm saying, but to me, that's why I think that being an effective communicator is that important. Not everybody has the luxury of getting a second moment. And so making the most of your moment is that important. Because you may get 100 million eyeballs in that one moment, and then 100,000 on the one after that. And you have to recognize that we're in a day and age when people are going to take those quick moments and they're going to do what they have to do with them. And then after that, people are going to have their reactions, and they got to keep it moving. So when you get your shot, be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Just be prepared.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we're kind of going around in circles. She wasn't prepared because this wasn't something that was planned.
Hey man,
so
you got to think about all these things.
I don't know. Like, if you're told this is not going to happen, and then it does happen, and then the camera's in your face when they do it.
Let me ask you this: you're gonna do stuff in the Olympic and throw chain hammers. You're telling me that you're never expecting to be one of the people that are gonna be there when the anthem plays? You're telling me that in the Olympics, you'll never be one of the people in an athlete activist t-shirt, that you're never going to be there when the thing is playing.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying she was specifically told that the anthem wasn't going to play when she was up there.
Understandable, but at some point in time, it's going to play.
Sure.
So when you're wearing your t-shirt, you are telling me you're prepared for something. You're preparing to be the person that you're preparing to be the face of a movement. So when you are prepared to do one thing, you better be quick on your feet. That's what I'm saying. Just
maybe,
because,
but I think that we can't hold people to perfection. I think she had a human moment. Unfortunately, that human moment, it went viral, and I don't beat her up for it. Like, at the end of the day, like,
for it, but I just want
I think at the end of the day, I listened to what she said along with what she did, and gave me a better understanding. Now, do I agree with it or disagree with it? I don't agree with it, but I also don't. I also believe that in a free country, the freedom that we have in this country is she has the freedom to protest in whatever way she wants to protest. So.
Absolutely, she definitely has that. All I'm saying, just to close this topic out, I just am looking for effectiveness. When you decide that you're going to be the face of something, like, remember when Juicy Smooth said he was the gay Tupac? Remember when he said that? Right. He had a plan. Like, he was like, all right, my plan is I'm prepared for what's coming up next. I want people to look at me a certain way. He thought he was going to be the leader of a movement. So for him, it was like, this situation is going to propel me to be the next this, that, and the third. Right. So for me, when you it's literally just when you have the spotlight on you, you have to start thinking about these things. If you are putting yourself into that situation, just imagine at some point in time, you are an athlete in a global sense and you are representing a country. At some point in time, the song is gonna play. Right. Okay, so just be prepared. If you're the activist, athlete, whatever, just think about it. Just think, if it just so happens that I'm in this predicament, from here on out, if that's who I say I am, the activist athlete, what am I going to do? And that's all I'm saying, because the history is defined by quick moments, very small blurbs of things, and then after that, people keep it pushing, right? And people will use small moments and small sentences and small things to argue with you, and if you don't know the whole truth and fact, you might lose that argument. So that's all I'm saying. Make the most of your moment. I'm not asking you to be perfect, but I'm just saying, if you are putting yourself in that position to be the activist athlete, make the most of that moment. That's all I'm saying.
And do you know who got first or second place?
No.
Exactly, but you know her name, so she did make
a pretty good
thing with that moment.
It doesn't resonate like the right way.
Maybe, but at the end of the day, if you're talking about, did she elevate herself in a way above most everybody else in that Olympics? There's two stories that basically came out of the Olympics that everybody's talking about, and she's one of them. So was it perfect? No, but I mean, at the end of the day, she's still getting talked about. So I mean, getting talked about is negative press is still whatever it is. So
I don't necessarily have that frame of thinking. I think that when you get talked about, because we could easily a year from now, like, you ask me who she is, I'm gonna be like, yo, did I meet her at a party or something? Like,
maybe we'll see. She's gonna go to the Olympics now. She'll probably have a lot more support. A lot of the she'll people will reach out to her, image consultant, PR guys, all that kind of stuff.
What you mean?
Whatever people that go behind these type of movements, and then she'll it'll be bigger. She'll be better.
Yeah, maybe she'll do it a little bit different.
Believe me, when they talk about her people are going to be focused on women's hammer throw because they want to see what she does. Because
she better get first place.
Yeah, I mean, she couldn't get first place even for U.S., so I don't know how she's going to be able to do that for the whole world.
Yeah, I'm going. Hit me with the next story.
So the next story also came from the Olympic trials. Sha'carri Richardson.
Oh, wait. Before we get into that, there's swim cap story. What about that one?
No, talk to me about that one.
Okay, so the group of swimming people in the international world, whatever.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they said that, like, the swim cap for Afro hair, like bigger hair, it doesn't conform to the natural shape of the head, so they're not allowing it to be the official swim cap for the Olympics.
They're saying nobody could use it. So it's a black-owned company that created this specifically for, black hair, I guess. And the Olympics are banning that. Yeah, correct.
So they're saying that this is racist. Yeah. What y'all think?
Go on.
Are there a lot of athletes that need it?
Shoot, I don't even know.
So
I didn't even know black people could swim. You don't care on a
You're
boat.
racist.
On a boat.
You're racist.
Thanks for watching. It's been a great episode.
So anyways, like, so I don't know too much about it because I know sometimes it's going to be considered racist, which maybe it is. But then also I know like these boards are mostly going for a competitive advantage. So they're looking at it as a standpoint, at least from what I know, is this giving people a competitive advantage? Non-competitive advantage?
Yeah.
Is this so I don't know about all those type of things.
Yeah, what's the benefit of having it? Not the benefit, but do you get an advantage for wearing the other cap versus the one that conforms to your head?
So I saw an image of the cap. At least I think I saw an image of the cap. The cap is like larger and it can hold like a lot of hair. Now, I have seen female athletes with like, afro hair that they just kind of braid it back and then they put the regular swim cap on. All right. But I guess like if you want to style it a certain way, like you get the bigger twist or the bigger whatever, I don't know. But you get the bigger hair, it's made more for that. Because you can just take your normal hair and braid it or put it in a ponytail or something and use the regular cap. According to what I saw, I don't think it's impossible to put the regular cap on. Now, these folks, I think the Olympics is all about the most equal opportunity so that nobody could say cheating or this, that, and the third. So I think they're viewing it from everybody needs to wear the same type of thing.
Right.
Okay. And so...
like no competitive advantage, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not gonna say I could see why they would say that, because to me it's just a swim cap. Like it's just a cap, just put the thing on your head. But at the same time, that thing was big. So I could honestly see somebody jump in the water, that thing just fly off your head. It was that big. So I can kind of see if there's one that it's gonna stay on your head, and they're like, we know this one stays on people's heads, and if, let's say, like, I'm pretty sure this is not the first time there's going to be black swimmers. If they never needed the bigger cap ever, then they're like, why do we need to switch?
And it also maybe sets a precedent. If they let this one in, then what's the next thing that they have to let in, and the next thing they have to let in.
Exactly.
Next thing. So I can see it from that side, but like I said, I have to see what the justification was, because all I saw was the headline that said black-owned swim cap company gets banned from Olympic trials, which is already framing it like this is racism, right?
Right.
So
But I don't know.
I'm sure there's more nuance to just being like, yo, this is for black people. Nah, we ain't gonna give them nothing.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I do get it. Like, if I was making swim caps, that would be my headline too. But these racist Japanese people said that we could, and then I would just try to make my money. But hey, I could kind of see it from the perspective of like, yo, if we've never needed this before in the past, then what do we need it for now? So it's unfortunate for those guys in the business, but
I'm sure they got more press now. Like at the end of the day,
it could have been just a play.
Things that get canceled end up doing better. So now probably more people will support them just because they feel like, oh, the Olympics isn't allowing them, black owned, all that kind of stuff. People will go support.
Yeah. All right. So let's get on to the Sha'carri story. So Sha'carri, tell me her last name. Robinson. Okay, I kept saying Richardson. So
it might be.
Shoot. Damn, are we racist?
We out here talking about
yikes.
stuff. No, Robinson.
Okay, so Sha'carri Robinson placed first. So now we can talk about it because she played first. She played first. Okay,
yeah.
We talk about winners on the show.
And she was breaking records. Like, she is probably the favorite to win the gold medal from the U.S.
Damn. All right. So she placed first in the trials. Is that correct?
Olympic trials.
So she won. Yeah. Okay, so she placed first, and then
made the Olympic team.
She made the Olympic team, but then the Olympics turned around and drug tested her. And
which they do everybody.
They do everybody. And she unfortunately failed the drug test for marijuana in her system. Now, a couple of things have happened. First off, she has lost her mother recently. Her biological mother. I noticed that they keep saying she lost her biological mother. I'm guessing this is not
Who raised her, maybe.
who raised her or something like that, but it's still a very traumatic situation.
Right.
So I'm so sorry to hear that about your mom, and hopefully everything, you can find some sort of healing. So her mother passed away, and she heard about it in an interview. She heard about her mother passing away in an interview.
Right.
So it was like, whoa, right? So she goes home, and in a form of self-medication, she takes a weed brownie or a weed cookie or something like that, and she ate it. And then she failed the drug test, and they gave her 3 months. She took a course, and the 3 months went down to 1 month.
Right. So she's out of the individual, but she still might be able to be eligible to run in the relays.
Okay. So
The argument that weed is a performance enhancing drug.
It's a banned substance.
it's a banned substance. Now, there are so many arguments here. First off, they're saying it's because she's black, which I'm going to just throw it out there. No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
Okay. The second thing is they were saying that Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps, they tested positive for some stuff. Michael Phelps, you remember, he was smoking weed in like 08. And so the thing is, Michael Phelps was 6 months off of anything. Right. And he still lost endorsement deals. He got banned for like 3 months. He had to suffer consequences for that picture. And he actually never tested positive either.
Well, here's the thing that people aren't putting nuance into.
Sure.
So it's not that you can't test positive for weed. It's you can't test
Over a
positive
certain
in a limit that means that you ingested or took that weed the day before an event.
Yes.
So if she had small traces of weed from something she did a week ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever,
big deal.
she wouldn't have been banned. This was primarily because she did this a day before the event, the day before the event.
All right. So I'm going to tell you guys a story that happened when I was like 19. And to preface this, people are saying the weed, the this, the that, blah, 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 blah. That's such a dumb rule and all this stuff. Let's take it back to competitive advantage.
Right.
Okay. That actually swings both ways. It's not just about who can win. Sometimes it's about who might lose. So when I was 19, I went to this high school function, and it was a track and field event. And there was this kid who was like crazy fast. But I guess before the race, he had taken like a toke or two of some weed, because I guess he was like nervous about the race. And he lost and was like, if I didn't have the weed in my system, I took it, but it like messed me up, blah, blah, blah. And so the coach actually brought him in and said this in front of everybody. They were like, this whole situation could have been prevented if you were just completely natural, right? The thing is, it's not about you. Damn, how did he say it? He said it's not about you doing, like, smoking the weed and then losing, because if you never did it, you would have lost fair and square, right? But you're turning around saying it's the weed that stopped me from performing, right?
You're using it as a crutch.
Yeah, exactly. So the coach was like, bruh, don't do anything. The hard work that you put into trying to win this race is what's supposed to help you win this race. And then if you lose gracefully, because you lost naturally. Mm-hmm. So for me, after I saw this, I was like, I get it. It's not about substance. It's not about performance enhancement. It's not about any of that stuff. It's just to avoid any situations where somebody can use it as an excuse. So for me, if you are operating in the Olympics, you got to be naturally gifted. Work hard for it. Naturally do it the right way, right? For me, I don't even think they should be able to drink caffeine before the whole thing. Like, just do it naturally. So I understand the rule. I get it. People like weed and people feel like it's not a big deal, but it's not about weed. It's just about your ability to perform. Period. That's the reason why they're testing you. I'm pretty sure the people who are overseeing this know you're not going to perform better on weed, but they're just making sure after this whole thing is done, you don't turn around and say, well, I had a brownie the night before, that's why if I didn't have that, like, no, everybody wins the way that they win, and they lose the way that they lose. So the one thing that I'm actually very happy about is the way Sha'carri responded.
Right.
The woman is very classy. She's a very smart girl, and she knows that what she did it, and she should not have. And she wasn't in accountability. She was not in the right state of mind, and she did something that she wasn't supposed to do. Is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. In our like moral sense, no, right. It's fine that you did that, but just know, like, when you are performing in the Olympics, they have this rule for a specific reason.
It's not a new rule.
And it's not a new rule. So when you sign up to perform, you know what's happening.
Right. And I disagree maybe with the sense that, like, it's there so that people can't make excuses as well. I think it's just an antiquated law. I think, weed, I don't think this is going to be a law or a rule 4 years to, like, within the next 2 or 3 Olympics, the weed ban will be taken off, because now more and more people are getting understanding of what marijuana does, and all that kind of stuff. It's already becoming legal in so many states. It's going to be legal, and it probably won't be a ban in the future. That's what I think. However, the thing that I took from this is, just in general, as far as, because I don't think her taking this brownie or whatever, cookie, whatever it was, or even if she smoked it, I don't know. But I don't think it takes away from all the hard work she did, because
Absolutely.
You don't get that fast and that way without sacrificing all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, rules are rules, and a lot of people have lost jobs that they're well qualified for, probably better than other people, but because they messed up in a drug test or messed up in a background check or whatever it is, it disqualifies them. So it's not a new thing, you know what I mean? So it's not just based off of your abilities that gets you a job or not. It's also going to be based off of some life choices that you've made as well.
Absolutely.
However, the thing that was the most upsetting to me about it is that, man, can we stop normalizing drugs as a way of a coping mechanism?
Absolutely.
So that was the biggest thing, is just like, the fact, I understand that, like, it was a traumatic situation and she's dealing with things, and however way you feel about weed, whether it's a drug or whatever the case may be, it's just like, why do we need a substance to be able to cope with it? You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't something that was so important to her, this Olympic thing, was taken away because weed is a coping mechanism for us, instead of being able to cope with just being around friends, being around family, like talking to people, whatever it could have done to not need this drug as a coping mechanism. And I'm not anti-weed. Like, if you smoke, whatever the case may be. But I am anti being dependent on something or needing something that, like, you feel like you can't get through it without this thing. And I think that that's the thing that's upsetting, because she's already a super disciplined person. She works really, really hard. For her to be as fast as she is and the level of athlete that she is, that doesn't come from just natural ability. That comes from work ethic and all these kinds of things. But unfortunately, that little bit of lack of discipline, as far as like needing this thing in her mind to feel like she needed to cope with this situation, to me, that was like, man, I wish that, people around her would, like, and the thing about it is, like, so many people come in and be like, nah, let her run. Gabrielle Union is like, let her run, all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, why are we, instead of being like, we need to change the rules, like, why don't we normalize, like, accountability and being like, yo, let's not need this stuff to cope. You know what I mean? Like, let's try to figure out other healthy ways of coping that doesn't revolve around alcohol, weed, pills, all these kinds of things, which is kind of what people are saying. Yo, it's just weed. It was a coping mechanism, all this kind of stuff.
That's one of my problems that I have too. Nobody had a problem with this 2 weeks ago. Nobody turned around and said, yo, before we start this whole Olympic thing, we should remove the weed rule.
Right.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that when Homeboy got caught. Nobody said it. But it's like, when it affects somebody that you like, it's like, this rule is dumb. And it's like, wait a second. Let's just be fair. It's like the Cosby thing to me. Like, let's just be fair about what's happening. In this culture that we're in, if you decide to do something, you give up some of your freedoms and a little bit of your liberties to sign on to do somebody else's event. Okay? It's kind of the same thing that the tennis player, the lovely young lady,
Naomi Osaka.
Naomi Osaka. To play in this event, you got to do some press. Why? Because the press brings in the views brings in the money. That's how we pay you.
Right.
So to participate in this event, you have to give up a little bit of your liberties to do the thing. That's how we make the money to pay you. So for me, as much as I totally understand that she didn't want to do it, then don't do it. But when it turned around and people were ridiculing the companies for saying like, all right, well, if you don't want to do it, then you can't participate or whatever it was, or we fine you. To me, it's like, well, are you participating in this for free, or like, what are you doing?
Right.
So if you have to understand the rules and the situation that you're getting into. If you're not the Olympic board or the Olympic committee or whatever, you're just a participant in it.
Right.
And it's all across the board. Everybody's following the same rules. So if that's the rules, just recognize before you sign your name, before you say you're going to participate, take accountability for saying, I understand the stipulations and I will follow them through. That's why I say I really respect the girl, because she came out and she said, yo, look, I know what I did. I'm a human. I messed up. She was not in the right state of mind, and it's okay. She's going to come back and she's going to kick butt the next time she does. And I think the big problem is our culture turns around and immediately says, when it's one of ours, the rules was wrong anyways. And it's like, bro, tell me the rules was wrong before anybody signs up for anything.
Right.
Check
Not when it's convenient.
Yeah. Don't make it just like, this is just about us. Like, everybody gets punished. I believe Ryan Lochte had a 14-month ban for whatever happened to him. So it's like, don't make it convenient. Make it fair for everybody. And
there's another young lady that's now going to be able to run in the Olympics, and her Olympic dream is going to be, she has a chance now because she's going to replace Sha'carri, and maybe she wasn't as fast as Sha'carri, but she followed all the rules.
She black?
My money would be on
All right, then she cool too.
I don't know for a fact, but I don't think there's too many white girls that are catching up to these girls in the race. But let's just it's usually USA and Jamaica that are winning the 100 meters. So anyways, but
we've been running.
But I'm just saying, like, that's part of the rules. And the thing that is upsetting is it goes straight to race. And there's this dude that I follow, his name's Uncle Hotep, and he's like, people were coming out and saying this weed rule is specifically targeted against black people, and he's black as well, and he's like, why is a weed ban targeted towards black people?
Right.
Why are we associating weed with black people? Like, why is that a thing? And so that's kind of where it's just like, yo, like, to me, it's like we're using racism to like defeat racism. Like, doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it is a little bit odd. I do feel for this girl, man. I feel for her, and I saw the interview of her on USA Today or whatever it was, and she has an emotional voice, but she took accountability, which I think is a beautiful thing. And you're gonna kick butt next time, girl. Take all the Nike money, take all the monies that's coming your ways. Lace up your sneakers, keep on practicing what you got to do, because next time when you come at them, you're gonna come for their head top,
right?
And that's it. And this ain't nothing else to it. And it's all good, man. It's all good. We love you too. Another thing before we get off of this, another sad thing, sort of. So the Supreme Court, United States, they upheld a voting right.
The voting right law in Arizona,
where they said that if you're gonna vote and you need somebody else to vote for you, it has to be a caretaker or like a family member, something like that. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't know the details about it though.
So that's what it is. So like, they don't want just anybody submitting a vote for you. It has to be somebody that you are like, this person is okay to vote for me. So I seen that a lot of people are saying like this is affecting minorities specifically, and I just wanted to ask, how?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna shoot this one to the minister of the border. Do you know how that affects black and brown people?
Repeat it.
So, if you are trying to vote and you're unable to go stand in a line to vote, you have the only people that can vote for you is a family member or a caretaker, and they have to be listed as the person that is okay to submit your ballot if you're not present.
Okay. And they're saying that that's...
Voter suppression, and it is specifically targeting black and brown people.
But you said it has to be family?
Family or a caretaker that you are written down to say, like, this person is okay to submit my ballot.
Already have to register that person.
Yeah.
In what city was this?
This is in the state of Arizona. You know, there's got about 7 black people in Arizona.
There's a lot of Hispanics in Arizona.
That's facts. So how does this prevent them from casting a vote if they're unable to go vote?
To me, it doesn't. Like, my first instinct is to say it doesn't, because the ones who are undocumented wouldn't be able to vote anyway. So what does it matter? I don't know. I don't think it is voter suppression. There's no
I was trying to wrap my head around
scenario that I could think of that would make it voter suppression, unless for whatever reason you came and moved to Arizona by yourself. But even at that point, like, what are you gonna do?
Do only brown and black people move to Arizona by themselves?
Exactly. That's the question.
I see it as actually I understand why they. I understand why the law is there.
I totally do too.
Because it's to remove the ability for bad faith actors, you know, like these activists or people to just round up people and like vote for them, basically, without them really, like, you know, kind of taking advantage of people who maybe aren't that politically active, but are just like, oh, you're gonna give me, you know, a bottle of water so I could like vote or whatever, you know. So it's to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen. So, but I really don't see. I mean, it's the same thing for me. Like, I don't understand why people think that needing an ID to vote is against minorities as well. Like, to me, you need.
Does everybody here have an ID?
Of course.
Does everybody here know how to get one?
See,
of course.
Does everybody here have Wi-Fi?
See.
Yo, man, they starting to use this stuff to mess with us, man.
And it's just like,
they really are though. They playing with us. They're like, it's like if a certain group don't get their way, they're just like racist.
So I work at a bank. I work at a bank, and you're you don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to be here legally to open up an account. Okay. But you do need.
That's a business.
But hey,
a private.
No. But look, but what you do need is an ID. So if you don't have an ID, we can't open up an account. So there's a lot of things that you can't do without an ID. So for all of a sudden, voting being like the thing that's like, no, that's crossing the line. Nah, man, you can't get into a club without an ID. Facts. You can't buy alcohol without an ID. You can't buy cigarettes without an ID. You know, you can't use a credit card most of the time without an ID. You know what I mean? So are all these things racist? Are clubs racist?
I really feel like they're messing with us because some of the stuff I'm like, where is the racist part? And it's starting to mess with me because it's like, bro, they tell me it's racist. And then I'm like, wait a second. Why?
It's easy to use racism as a way to do the power grab.
That's uncool. It's uncool because it's like, well, now we have to challenge what racism is, and then it's like, but there's real racism happening, and then we need to make sure that we're fighting the good fight and not fighting the fight for somebody else's to win.
That's already like, there, bro.
Man, if
you voted for Trump, you're a Nazi, man. You're fascist. All these kind of stuff. It's already out there, right?
I mean, listen, man. I just feel like it's difficult right now because they playing with people's emotions and just to get their way. And it's like, bro, why don't you just not use it? Like, take it out of the deck for a while. Don't use it. Just talk to people like they got some sense. You just don't like it because you wanted to fake some votes. Just say it. Just say, oh, We was faking votes out here. We was getting people to submit fake votes, and now we can't do it as easily. Just say it, and I'll support you. I'll be like, at least they said it. So yeah, let's support.
I mean, it's not going
votes.
to end well because it's something that's going to snowball out of control. It's already happening. So I don't know if you saw that there's this social media like influencer out in the UK, this white dude who had surgery to look Korean.
I did see that.
And now he identifies as a Korean person.
I did see that. He changed his name and everything.
Yeah, so he's transracial.
They change. I'm sorry, I don't know what
They're calling it transracial.
Pronouns are.
It's
Core Ian.
And Rachel Dolezal came out in support, and we all know, remember who
Sucker.
Yeah, we all know who Rachel Dolezal. So it's like once you make it okay to push that line, there's always going to be somebody to want to push it a little bit further, push it a little further. So just to not go too much off of a tangent, when you start using racism for everything, it starts to lose its power to a certain point where there's actual racial injustices that are happening on an everyday basis, but they get lumped in with Jussie Smollett, which had nothing to do with racism. He created this whole thing, but because he put it under the realm of MAGA, white dudes, noose, all of these things that people are saying, and he said, it was racially motivated.
Yeah.
You had all these politicians come out and say, and he almost got away with it, except for the fact that he's bleaching himself and tying his own. You know what I mean? Like, it's just people are taking advantage of it. That was the one very big thing that people take, but corporations are taking advantage of it. They know they could put pink rainbow flags and a BLM fist and all this kind of stuff and still do atrocities, but they look like the good guys because of this imagery under that we are against racism, when it's just a banner for people to be like, oh, he's a good person, that's a bad person type of thing, right? So that's where all of a sudden now it's going to be used. It's going to get too powerful to the point where people that are using it right now in their favor are going to look at that and be like, dang.
We have to be real careful with the people that we trust, dude, because the messages that are coming out, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They are utilizing things that are painful and are affecting people on a day-to-day basis just to get their way. And it's so scary now that if I see him on the screen, let me not. Yo, we're gonna come back. And are we done with serious things?
I hope so.
Y'all see the trailer for the movie Karen?
Oh my God.
All right, we'll be back. All right, we're done with all the serious stuff. It's lit out here. It's summertime. What are some things y'all about to do this summer? Because summer is officially started. I like to think July 4th is that's the summer kickoff for real. Memorial Day is the original one for people who's already in shape. If you still got a bad body by July 4th, this is you all summer. Period. So what are you guys about to do with your bad bodies?
What's open? What is open is the question.
The state is open. California's open, baby.
We'll see.
What you
as long
mean?
as it stays open, everything.
What you mean?
Man, they be talking about this Delta variant like the airlines.
Who's scared of the Delta variant right
Not
now?
I.
You only get on the Delta Airlines or what?
Cross.
It come with it?
You think we can afford Delta Airlines?
Hey, Delta's the cheap one, man.
Hey,
No, Spirit is the cheap one.
Spirit
And Frontier, baby.
and Frontier.
You know about Frontier.
I know about Spirit.
You know you got to pay to keep the saliva in your mouth.
You got to pay to breathe.
They be having you on the plane holding like it's a train.
Yo, what's worse to you, Frontier or Spirit?
Ain't they the same company?
They are, but I think Frontier is worse.
Frontier's worse?
Yeah.
I'm about to get on a Frontier roulette.
I think Frontier
shit.
has the hard seats.
Not the hard seats.
Yeah, like the bus seats.
Oh my
with
God.
no cushions. Yeah.
So if you ain't got a booty, your spine hurts.
And you know me, with my no booty having ass, so that Frontier hurts.
Oh my gosh. Yo, shout out Frontier. Yo, give
And the
us a
seats don't
sponsorship.
recline or nothing. They're just there.
Oh,
They're just there, my dude. Like,
You're
enjoy.
rigid.
That's why the tickets is
Enjoy.
$40.
Exactly.
Yeah, where you
Yes.
trying to go? I got you.
It's literally like Greyhound up in the air.
I'm pretty sure that they say, yo, if you got stuff in your pocket, you got to pay $55.
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. There's a weight limit. We gotta weigh your bag and then you.
Yeah.
So just to make sure everybody fit on the plane.
They start taping you up. Yeah, we got to put you under the plane.
Right.
Sorry, but you over 250.
Damn it.
You gotta sit the back.
No. But what do you expect when you pay $55.99 for a flight?
It's lit. I'm trying to get where I'm trying to get with the change in my pocket.
Save
How's
me
this
some.
flight to Florida more than me trying to drive to Orange County in my car right now?
That's facts. Yo, I paid $88 to fill my tank.
Oh
up.
my god, gas is ridiculous, bro.
I saw it for
Ridiculous.
$5 the other day.
Yo, but did you see that the White House putting out that ad talking about, hey, we saved you so much money on hot dogs and ketchup and all these kinds of
Did y'all
things?
see that? It was 16 cents.
16 cents.
See, they were like, yo, last year it was like $1.99. This year it's $1.96.
And that's all
They're really
thanks to
doing
the
the most.
the Budden administration.
Yes.
When I saw that, I was like, damn, you right, man. My cream corn cheap as hell, man.
That's fact.
It just cost me $7 to go to the store to go get it. I didn't buy a hybrid. I'm so stupid.
I gotta walk 4 hours to get to the store.
Oh,
but-
my
I hate walking, yo. You know what's funny? I went underneath my bathroom little cabinet looking for some gold bonds because I was like, I know I got some kind of powder up in here because this titty sweat is going.
You gotta be careful with that, bro.
Yikes.
It's messed up. We're living in 108 degrees weather out here. It's horrible out here. So that's why I'm trying to get to the pools this weekend. This summer.
That's facts.
I'm trying to get into the pools.
I need friends with pools. I don't think I have anybody that has a pool.
I got a friend with a pool, but they live all the way in Utah. But I would take the
Apartment
drive.
complex has a
Hey,
pool.
man.
I would take the drive. I get on that Spirit flight.
With a $5 gas, you gonna
My
drive to
complex has a
Utah.
pool. You guys can come over.
Your complex has a pool?
Yeah.
But it's a complex pool, so people be peeing in it.
People be
And
dookie
well-
in it. You don't know what kind of.
I think you'll see that.
This
Hey, man, you don't know.
Hey,
Look at Chris comes to life to talk about Dookie.
I know.
Hey, man.
Hey, he was seeing things on the border. But I'm saying, like, did you see?
No pools.
Yo, did you see?
He's talking to the people on the fence. Yo.
Did you see that video of that dude at the bus station or something? Or the
Oh yeah, he took a shit in the
in the
mop
janitor's
bucket.
thing in the mop bucket?
Oh
Did you
my
see
gosh,
that?
I did see that.
Yo.
Hey, bro.
And he was ready to risk it all. He was, yo, get off my bucket.
And he was, yeah, but that dude mid, like, whatever, pulled his pants up and was like, yo,
These
What
homeless
you
I'm
people.
gonna
about
do?
to do this right now.
Yeah, I
Like,
think he had started before he even got down.
I'm saying, dude.
I heard the sound of it.
He was crowning. Oh, that was no sound in the video. What are you talking about? Hey, this dude is the nastiest when it comes to like wanting to listen to people pee, hearing like.
He said, I heard it
people-
I did hear it.
Oh,
And you
my
didn't hear it. You didn't hear it.
There's no sound in the video, my
I
dude.
thought there was.
Oh my god.
I thought there
You
was.
could only
sound.
imagine, though. You can only imagine.
Hey,
Man, I would've
in
given
his
him a
mind,
little
when it
bit of
comes-
straightening.
when it comes to restrooms and
Yeah, relax,
doing that
relax.
bodily stuff.
No, relax.
You hear a soundtrack.
Chris, you're the only person here in a real relationship.
Hello.
What does a summer look like for a person in a relationship?
Say it again.
What does a summer look like?
A summer.
Yeah.
I thought it was a summit. What does that mean? You know, chilling.
Here we go.
No.
Tell me about this city boy summer.
Screech ain't safe.
Screech ain't safe.
Let's
Hey, this
go.
dude went to
Let's
one
go.
Haitian party and all of a sudden the Screech ain't safe. And that dude's confidence is up like the temperature right now.
He goes to one rooftop party. He don't know nobody.
One roof hey,
I lost 6 pounds. Screech ain't safe.
yo,
I'm serving it.
one White Claw. And all of a sudden,
Skew. Oh wait, I got you, bro.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. That sounds racist as hell to me. Huh?
does it?
Anybody else black here felt racist?
oh my god.
Yo, I'm actually gonna have an actual summer.
Good.
Yeah, like I want to come to this kind of environment, crack the Modelo's,
Let's get it, man.
crack the stuff.
I'm more of a
I've been trying to
Corona
have
guy.
a. I've been-
Corona, crack. crack the Coronas, you know, popsicles, you know.
I'm trying to have
Pops?
a kickback right here.
Say it again.
Otter Pops?
Otter Pop,
Otter
whatever. I'm
Pops.
here for Otter Pops.
Bolies. You ever have bolies?
No, what is
Ones
that?
That are the two-part. You crack them in half.
This is a Mexican ice
You
cream?
got 2 popsicles in
Yeah.
your hand.
The one with the 2 sticks?
Oh, no, I'm about to go in with
There's
the
the
2
2
sticks.
sticks too. Those are paletas. But there's bolies. It's popsicles in like a tube, and you crack it in the middle, and you have like 2 little.
I don't even know what that is.
Hey, you know
They
what the
got that
best
at the border?
popsicles were? By the pool. You know, the like orange and the fire looking ones?
Those are paletas. Those are like mango and some chili.
Oh, it's the one that
that's
you
not
got
what I'm talking about.
on your shirt.
That's one of them.
Okay.
But what are you talking about?
The one that are like, they're like, they look like the sun.
They're popsicles.
But they're not the Mexican kind.
Big pops or something like that.
Yeah, you get them at all the like public pools they had them at.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what that is. See, what I was asking,
I like the
Chris,
SpongeBob with a half an eye. You ever
Choco tacos?
You eat that one?
you know what I want to do this summer? I want to play a lot of basketball.
You ain't out here shooting in the gym.
Yo, listen, if you're trying to catch
don't
this fade
even-
right now,
you don't even
I
know.
promise you I'll go air the ball up right now. I promise you, dog.
Hear me,
See,
brother.
boy, summer. One rooftop
Look at this
party.
guy with his Batman team. Yo, that was a good Aubrey, though.
You know?
That was a good Aubrey.
Jeez, man.
That was a good Aubrey.
Yeah, I'm there.
I didn't even.
Take me
I
out.
didn't even know you hoop like that.
I spent quite a few summers on a basketball court. Me and Frank used to play like crazy.
I would love to hoop with you.
Let's go. You know what I,
I would
like to
love
do?
to watch.
Chris,
No, I'll be in there.
jump in.
I'll come in.
Because I'm not very good at shooting. But back in the day, they used to call me Baby Shaq.
Okay.
Because I don't know how to shoot. I will say that I shoot with the 2 hands and I just let it go. But
Oh, you just a big body down low.
but I'm a big body guy. I know how to block pretty good.
Okay.
Like if you were trying to throw
How
up,
them feet? You can move them feet?
yeah, I can move. And
Alright.
then I'm pretty good at running back and forth on the court.
I like
very-
that. Could have been a quarterback.
Yeah, that's facts. I'm also trying to play some football too.
Yo, your back is not ready for your summer.
Boy,
This boy needed a pillow just to sit on this chair. He talking about all these athletics things going.
I got bad posture. But I'm going to the
I'm
chiropractor.
trying to run a triathlon too.
Yeah. He's like, and by the way, I'm taking Sha'carri's spot on the Olympic team.
As the woman,
I'm trying to throw hammers.
give me a wig.
What else you trying to do, Kelly?
Yo, Kelby straight would go to Home Depot and buy up all the hammers and be like, I'm practicing for the Olympics.
Watch me right
They
now.
told me it was a hammer throw.
I just start taking,
I got it. No fat.
and then just let him know, I ain't even buying the chain.
I ain't even had to buy it, man.
Stop playing with me. I actually have a account that so you know them apps like Acorns.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that save money for you.
Yeah, like they take the money, they round up the money from whatever. Okay, so I have an app like that. It's like Acorns, but I'm not gonna say their name because they're not giving us the money yet.
Right.
Okay,
Dang, they're really searching.
yeah,
We'll hit you up, Kanye. We'll see you I see you, Kanye.
Kanye's in Wyoming.
Nah, he got it out here in
Oh, that's facts.
in the hills too.
That's facts. In the hills. You mean in the fire zone?
Hey, relax.
So, what was I talking about?
You was talking about bootleg Acorn.
Yes. So I got the app years ago, and I deleted it. It was like 2 phones ago, but I never had it. And I got an email that said your savings have been resumed, and I was like, the hell, savings have been resumed. So I get on the app, I download it, I get back on it, and I got a couple $100 in there.
Let's go.
Just chilling. But the name of the account, because it said like how much are you trying to save? I was like, I'm trying to save $10,000, and it tells you why. And at the time, that's what I was trying to do. So the name of the account is "The Chains Must Be Released." The chains of debt
okay.
must be released, and I have a picture of me as a slave.
Wait, you created this though?
Yes, I created it.
I was like, yo, good thing you didn't say this app name.
No. And
The
then,
app saw it.
No, I created
like,
it,
watch
and then
this.
I guess I was probably going through something deep because I was like, I'm a slave to this debt. So I was like, every time I look at this, I'm a try to be Juneteenth up on out of here. So
My dude's been watching a lot of Confederate History Channel at that time.
I don't even know what year it was. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my god,
This is aggressive.
I was like, well, damn, this debt really was hitting me in the face.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so they round up $2 every time I purchase something.
Over how many years?
Shoot, maybe like 4 years or something like that.
And you only saved up $200?
It's a few $100s in there. I ain't gonna say how much. But
Oh, you ain't gonna try to put that in the streets?
nah.
You don't want these ladies to know?
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you why. So I was talking to somebody the other day.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so
Here
I
we
was,
go.
I was talking to them at the pool party. You know, I went to the pool
Hey,
party.
the Haitian hoop pool
And
party.
I was talking to Shorty. I was like, yo, what's up? You know, what you want for your birthday and all this stuff. And she was like, a Prada bag. I was like, I gotta go. That's after I was bigging myself up. Yeah, I mean, I got a little company. I mean, a little something.
You might have seen some of my work.
A little something.
You ever
might
dropped that
say-
line? You might have seen some.
because I know they didn't. There actually have been some people in Vegas who saw a commercial I produced, and they be like, I saw your commercial, but then like outside of Vegas, people like, yo, you ain't nobody. So I was talking to Tug, and she was like, you gonna give me a Prada bag for my birthday? I was like, girl, hell no. And in my mind, I was like, I could get that. I Googled it because I don't know what anything costs.
How much is a Prada bag?
$2,500.
Yikes.
I was like, yikes, I'm out of here. The chains have been put right back up on me. And I left.
What's the other bag we was talking about? The Doofenshmirtz bag? What's it called?
The what?
The parka? No. The Birkin.
Birkin
No,
bag.
we ain't getting nobody no
Hey,
Birkin bag.
can we move into a bigger conversation about what we're talking about right now?
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys know who Lamar Odom is?
Oh yeah.
You hear about this?
I heard about it.
Chris, you hear about this?
I did not.
Okay. So Lamar Odom has a baby mama. I don't know the baby mama's name. I don't know if that's important for the story. But anyways, she has come out on social media trying to air out Lamar Odom about not paying for like child support in a way that continues her lifestyle. So Lamar Odom has come out to defend himself and saying, our kids are older now, like over 18. I'm giving money to my child directly now at 18. It is not my job to take care of this woman's lifestyle that I'm not in a relationship with.
Right.
I take care of my kids, not take care of the woman. So my question is, you know, because you start a lot of these athletes, musicians, and just men in general, I guess, when you're dating somebody, you create a certain lifestyle, you know, Birkin bags, Prada bags, all these kind of things. Is it, but say the relationship is no longer there and you're paying child support to the woman, and then the child becomes of age, right? 18 years old now is considered an adult. Is the man that's been paying child support obligated to continue those payments, to continue that lifestyle?
All right, he's not paying alimony.
Right.
All right. Y'all paying child support. Okay.
It's in the
Alimony
word.
is different.
It's in the word. Child.
Okay. So here's the thing. There's multiple layers and levels to this Lamar Odom thing. Number one.
Can I say one more thing that she's
Sure.
saying? So she's come out and said that you have created a certain type of lifestyle for me, and that, or maybe I'm conflating, because there's another clip that came out. I think I saw it in Academics where the woman was talking about how you created a certain lifestyle for me.
That's a different thing.
Okay.
That's Blu Jasmine.
Oh, okay.
We can talk
I
about
saw
But
that.
I feel like it's all kind of the same thing, right? So it's a woman that feels like the man is still obligated to create a certain type of lifestyle for them, even after the relationship is over. This is obviously the child become an adult, and the other one was just a breakup, right? So
Okay. Let's talk about the Lamar Odom thing first, because I'm actually familiar with a little bit of that story. Lamar Odom drained his kids' college funds. He took like $70,000 out of their account for college.
wow, okay,
So it's not only that he owed like $91,000 in back child support, and the story came out because he had that fight with Aaron Carter,
Right.
And he made $40,000,
Right.
And the woman was like, "Yo, you just made some money, you got to pay," and he was just like, "Bruh, I'm broke." And she was like, "Figure it out," because he not only was not paying, he was also taking money. He drained the kid's college bank account. He was draining their all this other stuff. He was taking money, so he had already owed. And mind you, child support don't just go to the woman. Child support goes to the government. Child support go to the government. It's a business. So, I as much as I would like to be on his side, I think that he's just also very irresponsible. Like he told the story of how he blew a lot of money gambling, and he had to ask Kobe Bryant for some help.
Right.
And it's like, bro, there's a little bit of a pattern here.
Right.
I'm not gonna just support you just because you're a dude, and we're talking child support, and we don't want to.
Accountability is accountability.
Yeah, like you got to step up to your role as a father, as a man. Don't be draining your kids' college account and
that's
stuff.
foul.
You know,
I
so
didn't know that
that's a
part.
whole different situation. So I'm not saying I'm standing with her. If she's saying that you got to pay for my lifestyle, then get a job, okay? But if it's truly about the child, then I'm sorry. I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do as a dad and as a person. I think he made over $100 million as a basketball player, right?
He made a good amount of money playing basketball.
Yeah, so he has a pattern of things that kind of are a little troubling.
Okay.
You know, so I will say that. I'm not going to just jump out there and say, like, I'm against him, but I do think that he's got some therapying that needs to happen.
Some accountability he needs to come through.
Absolutely, yeah.
He needs accountability buddy.
And she actually laid it out. Like, she said that he drained $97,000 out of one account. Both of the kids' college funds was drained. He took a lot of money, so he owes money that from child support, and he owes money that he just took.
Gotcha. I didn't know he owed money. I thought it was just like she was saying he needs to continue to pay.
Now, the Blu Jasmine thing.
All right. Lay that out. Who is she, first of all? I don't know who Blu Jasmine is.
She's just like an IG thought.
Oh, okay.
So,
not a model. He's straight with IG thought. So you know which way this is going to be leaning. There ain't no bell going to be thrown to Blu Jasmine. You can already tell by the intro.
So, Blu Jasmine with no E. She said, if I'm dating you, and you upgrade my lifestyle, you give me a car, you get me a luxury apartment, this, that, and the third. When we break up, why can't you just keep on doing that for me? You upgraded my life, which means that you got it. So just keep getting it. I'm not going to go backwards because you don't want to date me anymore.
No.
Blu Jasmine.
How you feel about that, Kelbu?
Blu Jasmine. I want you to understand something. Chris Rock said it best.
Talk to her.
Okay? Men can't go backwards sexually. Women can't go back financially.
Okay.
But here's the thing. If you ain't giving him the sexual part, you're going to have to go back the financial part.
Yikes.
You see how that works?
Yeah.
He ain't your daddy, and we live in daddy culture, don't we? We live in zaddy culture. Oh, you got to get me this. You got to get me that. But they so quick to say that they bosses, huh? They so quick to show the nails on the Mercedes, huh?
Here we
They're
go.
so quick to show it off.
Here
But
we
what
go.
are you good at?
Talk to them. What are they good at?
OnlyFanning? Yo, OnlyFans is about to switch over to just putting regular content out. Hoes is out of business.
Look, first of all, at least if she has an OnlyFans, she's working. So I ain't mad at her for that. I don't think that's what this girl's doing, though, right?
I think she does have an OnlyFans.
Okay, so then she can't pay her own bills?
See, here's the thing, y'all. Y'all can't be expecting everything for nothing. Science says something can't come from nothing. Okay? Even if you can't see it, something is there. Just like air, baby. Just like heat. You can't see heat, but you feel it. That's why you wear deodorant. That's why you gotta take a shower. Am I wrong?
You ain't wrong.
Okay?
Keep talking, though.
This culture of men gotta pay, men gotta provide, even if I'm doing nothing for him. Gotta this summer,
What?
Go ahead.
the war on these type of people is gonna rage, and the providers will prevail. Would you ever finance a woman like that?
So let me. I don't want to cut you off because you go. So here's my thing. She considers elevation. You got me this. You got me that. You got me this. Right?
Yes.
But I don't necessarily consider that elevation. Because if I elevated you, I gave you the tools to be able to sustain this lifestyle on your own. So if I've just given you these things, right, because we're in a relationship, these are ways that I am going to, these are the perks of being with me. If you're no longer with me, you don't get those perks anymore. If I am working at a certain company and they give me health insurance, if I'm no longer working for that company, can I still get that health insurance for them?
This guy's an Indian king.
Are they still going to be putting money in my 401k if I don't work for them anymore?
Come on, man.
So why all of a sudden, if you are treating this relationship as a transactional relationship, because clearly that's what she's treating it as,
That's right.
well then, once the business is done, are there still transactions?
The war on thoughts.
I put this on her. You created this relationship. You created these surroundings, these barriers. You defined this relationship as you gave me these things.
Facts.
You created this like I am your employer
Yep.
and you are my employee.
And what's her value?
But if you're no longer on the payroll anymore, you ain't cashing no checks from Sunil Incorporated.
That's a fact. You found her? What is that? Blu Jasmine? That's a sound about right.
Why you following him?
For informational purposes. Research.
No, it's funny because
Research.
Because I actually am following her because I went to her page afterward. I was trying to find out like, wait, why is she getting interviewed? Who is this? Is she important? So I went and I followed her. She had like 12,000 followers. How many has she got now? Okay, she got a lot. She got double the followers. Right. So I was just trying to figure out who is this? Is she an important person? So I went and I followed her. Her page was private.
Ooh.
So I submitted my request, and so she accepted. And so when I went on her page, I started finding out, oh, this is truly her. She's really about this. Like, if you provided this for me 10 years ago, you got to keep this up.
That's crazy.
Where is the accountability? You're not valuable to me anymore, Blu Jazz.
I guess she's like, if you with me, you live with me for life, one way or the other.
Put a ring on it. See, the culture that we're in right now, daddy culture,
Zaddy
culture, it has to start favoring the payer.
Or there has to be some kind of clause where you could get out of it.
Oh, you got to be able to get out of it.
Right.
The funny thing is, none of these people are getting married. So there ain't no legal contract
With the T.
that said that you got to stick around for now. This dude should just evict her.
Was she still there? She still living with him?
I think she was upset because he did evict her.
Oh, see, there you go.
See, these
can you
ladies think just because they got nice whatevers, nice hair, they got the BBL. What is the BBLs? Let me think of the word. BBLs. Because they got the BBLs, they got the stummy stuff. They looking alright. Then we owe them something. Y'all can't put sentences together.
I blame Cardi B.
Whoa, wait a second. Yo. You mean the presidential interviewer?
Yeah.
Why are you blaming Cardi B?
Because Cardi B, I think, is the spokesperson or the first person, the face of this whole
Scam movement.
Yes.
Okay, that's not her. You're talking about the city girls.
No. I'm talking about Cardi B loving hip hop. I'm not talking about just Cardi B the musician, Cardi B was the
we know
person,
that he'd be watching this.
You know, for research purposes.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You gotta be connected to be able to do the type of big J journalism we were doing. So, anyways, like, she's the type of person that's like put a value on your WAP, right? And so you gotta pay for this type of stuff. City Girls came after it, Megan Thee Stallion, all these type of things. But Cardi B was like the first type of person that was really about like.
Can you give me a lyric? I'm not really I'm not putting it because the City Girls I know. The City Girls was flat out saying, "Oh, we about to scam you. We can get your money." And in fact, one of them girls went to jail for scamming. So,
well, I mean, Cardi B's talked about doing that back in the day too.
Did she?
Yeah, she was drugging up dudes and stealing their money and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she talked about that. Yeah, so like
she got to go right there next to Robert Kelly.
And I'm okay with that because
she can't get out on a stipulation.
But what I'm saying is this empowering women into feeling like, hey, know your value, but your value has a monetary value versus how you're being treated, right? So you could be, you're basically looking at this as, what am I getting from this monetarily, superficially, materialistically, versus being treated a certain way, right? They're not talking about in the music, if you cheat on me, I'm leaving you type of stuff. It's like, if you ain't paying my bills, I'm out.
Now listen, I think that this movement is actually growing. Because have y'all seen the cancel cater me movement? Y'all seen that?
Nah, what's that?
So cater to you movement. Cancel cater to you movement. So you know the song. Hold on.
They going at the Beehive?
Yes. So you know the song. Let me cater to you.
Yeah.
You saw body rolling when you hear that song, right? They don't like it because they're saying that the woman is catering to the man.
Right.
Y'all gotta stop hating men.
And they hate submissive women. Right? They hate the woman that wants to take care of their husband and kids. Don't be over here scared of a moth, bruh.
No, I'm thinking because you saw Anthony Mackie on Wendy Williams. He was like, my girl, if I'm out there cutting the grass, I gotta come inside to a sandwich. People was like, yo, cancel his show.
That's crazy.
Don't give him another shield. It's over.
That's crazy.
Now, I will say he said it a little bit weird. You know, since I've been listening to y'all tell me about how weird I am, he said, "Oh, you got to make daddy a sandwich." I was like, bro, that's weird. Okay, don't say that out loud ever again. Okay, but I did understand when he was like, yo, if I'm out there making the money, if I'm sweating to do stuff for you, then I'm going to expect a couple wifely duties.
For sure.
And I do understand that. Now, if you don't want that as a man, if you don't want that, that's cool too. But if you want that and you know, like, this is what I'm looking for, that's fine. There's women out there that are going to cater to their man. So the whole cater to you movement, cancel cater to you, this is the first time where they're like, yo, we don't even care that it's Beyonce. We're not catering to no man.
But what are they gaining out of that?
Liberation.
Okay, but then, and that if you're not catering to the man, then...
Cater. See,
this is what I'm saying. Like, cater to you is... I don't think they're singing that song to somebody who isn't taking care of them and isn't reciprocating in certain ways.
Well, that's facts.
Right? So, like, it shouldn't be, like, cater to somebody that isn't treating you right, isn't taking care of you, isn't, like, deserving of that. I think that I understand that. But if somebody is treating you right, is giving you a certain, like, at a certain point... What is your, like you say, what is your value to the relationship? So if somebody's going out there bringing home the bacon, now you expect them to cook the bacon, like set the table, all this kind of stuff. Like, it should be a 50-50 partnership, whatever way it goes. If the roles were reversed and the woman's cutting the grass, I think the man should be inside making the sandwich because it's a partnership. You know what I mean? Yeah. In this scenario, the man's cutting the grass. But if the woman's outside cutting the grass, the man should be going in there making the lemonade, making the sandwich, so that when the woman comes in hungry, tired, whatever it is, there's food already ready, drinks already there, all that kind of stuff. Go ahead.
Would you let your girl cut the grass?
Me, no. But
curl.
What do you mean? Like if the actual
Not
act of
let
cutting
me
the
let me make
grass?
sure I'm not saying like would you let her, but I'm saying like
Because
if she was
on a
like
lawnmower,
yeah, like
if
if
she know how to use it, go for it. You mean
Girl.
actually cut the grass? I really want to know details.
border control.
Oh my god.
What you want?
You said you don't mind her getting on the what do the white people call it, the Tommy horse or whatever,
John Deere.
the
What?
John Deere.
The Tommy horse.
You know what it is.
You know
don't-
that Kelby never cut grass a day in his
Because
life.
I know.
I used to use the I
Me
used to use the
personally.
Juan Deere. Like I was actually pulling it. I was pulling
We
it with
gotta
my
prime that
dad.
thing.
Yeah. I was black as hell in the sun, pushing the thing. But Chris said, you said it was okay for her to go out there and cut the grass. What you gonna be doing?
Why not? Obviously, she also come to grab. We just had a conversation. I'm gonna be inside making lemonade, making sandwiches.
All right.
Listen, man, I'm a mean cook.
Look, there's multiple ways to navigate
Come
through this
on.
situation. Look,
Relationship 50-50.
and he is the only one that's like
And
being with the
I
girl.
am
for the-
successful.
So hey, whatever.
So what you talking
we
about?
should
Could be
look,
in a relationship for 22
Yeah, but
years.
you thought it was Tommy horse.
Yeah.
Nobody likes
You
me.
He been with
No,
the same.
bro.
He been with the same girl since he was 7 years old, man.
Yes.
So like,
Alright.
so like, look.
Listen,
I think there's multiple ways to have a relationship, and Chris obviously is having a successful one in the
smart
reverse way
about
I
it.
would.
And neither of us own one of them lawnmowers. So it doesn't even matter.
Yo, Chris hires a dude named Jose that cuts his grass. So let's
Negative. Negative.
Right now, there's a Home Depot out there.
Nah.
Chris be at the border bringing people in to cut his grass on a regular basis, man.
Chris.
What you want?
So let's say she got to push the lawnmower,
Okay.
and you got a yard,
Okay.
and she's like, I'm gonna go outside to cut the grass. You just chilling on the couch watching, whatever you watching, anime.
That's
So you gonna be like, all right, for sure.
No, I'm gonna say if you want to do the front yard, I'll do the backyard. If you want to handle that, I'll take care of the trash.
The trash,
If you want to handle that, I'm gonna take care of cleaning the house.
cleaning.
You want to take care of the outside? I'll take care of the inside.
That boy said the trash. And cleaning.
Symmetry, symbiosis.
It's not the same thing when she out there.
sabbatical,
When she out
whatever
there.
you want
So
to
make
call
the
it.
point. Make the point, Kelby. What you trying to do? What you trying to say?
If my girl tells me, all right, I'm gonna go outside and cut the grass, trust me, I'm gonna say, I know what you're trying to say. Give me the John, give me the deer. I will go do that. You could go clean the house. Fine, because they're not gonna say that.
But what if she actually want to cut the grass?
They don't. Girl.
What if she wants to be
They want
the
a garden
gardening type?
They want a garden, but they
Yes.
don't want to cut the grass.
Okay.
Come on now.
Who says? Now that's on you.
I
Putting the
think
stigma
the type
on
of
the
woman you're
females.
dating is different from maybe the type of woman that.
Nobody likes me.
Huh?
I said nobody likes me.
I'm just saying, like, so for me,
Because you won't let him cut the grass,
look,
bro.
yo, look,
All right,
I'll
fine.
tell you the type
I'll
of
sit
the
my
type,
butt
the type
right
of,
down, and I'll Grubhub food.
It's all about like what you're looking for. So I think there's certain men that are cool with the woman being the breadwinner, and there's certain women that want to be. I want to be dependent on myself. I don't want to be dependent on no man. All that kind of stuff. And I'm successful enough to where, you can handle the household duties and stuff like that, and it works. It works for that,
that's
but
kinda
it's a
different.
different type of personality, right?
That's kind of different. Would you date a girl that's making 3 times what you're making?
Would I date her?
Like seriously, though.
I mean, I would. That wouldn't be a negating factor to me. However, I feel like in that situation, the relationship just wouldn't work.
Why?
You have to be an extremely
What's 3 times 10?
You have to be. You have to be
So
extremely.
she's making 90,000.
Was this,
No, I'm kidding.
was this Rachel?
No.
No.
Oh, wait,
Because I'm
wait.
Indian.
Nah.
What you trying to say?
You got this, bro.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Alright.
We had
So
a great show.
Anyways, so what I'm saying is like, so I think that the type of women that are making, that type of song, I'm thinking if she's making 3 times money, she's making a lot of money. Because in my mind, I know what I'm making. But anyway, so like,
Go ahead.
So,
Start
anyways, so you have to be an extremely confident dude, secure in yourself, to be able to date a woman like that, because the type of attributes and skill set and things like that cause a person whether the male or female, but especially a woman in that realm, comes with certain personality traits, and those personality traits tend to be independent, tend to be alpha, tend to be about their business, and they also tend to be people that are very well like out there in the sense like they have a lot of options.
If my girl is making 3 times more than me, she is never lifting a finger in that house. I'm the wife. I will, and the husband. I will clean. I will cut the grass. I will cut the grass. But also, if my wife is making $20,000 less than me, I will cut the grass. I'll do a lot of things. But at the same time, too, like there does have to be a level of 50-50-ness. But I will recognize some things that I wouldn't want to see my girl doing, like cutting the grass for me. Being outside, doing all that stuff. Gardening, you could go garden. But if I'm pretty sure you don't want to go cut the grass. I'm pretty sure you don't want to go cut the grass. I'm pretty sure you don't want to put the trash outside at 10 p.m. You see what I'm saying? So it's like things like that where I'm not going to say I'm not going to let you. If you want to do it that bad, go ahead. But I will take control over that.
I find it hard to believe that a woman that's making 3 times what the man is, and the man's just in there being the housewife, that or like the husband, that relationship is gonna last. I'm telling you, man, alpha women want dudes that could still be dominant masculine people. You gotta elevate your game. If you are catering to her, she's gonna get bored and bounce.
Okay, I think that's different. I could definitely date somebody who's making 3 times more than me, but I think home responsibilities is different than finances. So,
what I'm saying is, you can't succumb. Those people want extra confident people.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think that you can't be the victim of that. You can't be like, ooh,
submissive and right, stuff like that.
No. When I say that, I'm gonna still be in the house like, all right, here's the story. Nah, this is not how I'm gonna act. Disclaimer.
All right, I hate this. Go ahead.
I don't believe anything that's coming out of his mouth.
This is when y'all people crawl. So I was at the garage, getting my car fixed, right? And dude had brought his girl to the shop, and so the girl was there. She was talking to me and whatever, So he came back to me, trying to tell me like what's up with my car, and every other word he was trying to say, his girl was butting in. And so he was like, yo, so what's happening with your car is, and she was like, yeah, so what's happening with your car is, and like she did it like 6-7 times. He turned around, he was like, shut your ass up, go take your ass, go sit down right there. I was like,
was she doing it like to help you or just to mock the man?
No, she thought like she was working on my car too.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, shut up. And the way that I saw that woman looked at him with love,
she got turned on.
She turned right around. She was like, this chair, daddy? I shall go sit right there. And I think, like, if she was making that money and he talked to her that way, not to say it's a good thing. Not to say it's a good thing, because I was appalled, shocked. But I think that if you know you're placing a relationship and you know, like, yo, she's going to make the money, but in the house, she's still, like, my girl, then cool.
Who do you think makes more money, Cardi B or Offset?
Right now it's tied, but very, very soon, Cardi B is going to be making more money than Offset.
Right.
For sure.
Because I would think that Offset has to split his. Cardi B keeps all of it, right?
Yeah. Offset splits, but the Migos have been around longer and they can collect bigger bags. But Cardi B, in about a year or so, she's going to be making more money for sure.
But I still think Cardi B says it that she wants a dude that kind of can dominate. You know what I mean? Like, be great and all that kind of stuff. So she's more into that aspect.
The type of person.
Right.
Yes.
So I've dated a girl who was more successful than me at the time and all that kind of stuff. And the thing that was when it was working, it was when my confidence was the highest and I was being alpha and control and all that kind of stuff. The minute I started being more submissive or like, yes, exactly, that shit was done quick. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying, like, somebody who's making that much more than you in that realm, I think they're...
Well, why did they switch?
I think it was just more like... I think it was just personality differences. I think for me, I don't want to be constantly like feeling like I gotta put somebody in their place. At a certain point, I'm just like, all right, do what you ever gotta do. Do what you want to do. Because at least in this relationship, she was like a habitual like line stepper. Like her personality was to like see how far she could get, like instigate till you did something to be like, all right, put you back in your place type of thing. Right? Not like physically and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just saying,
she puts the line.
So like, for example, I'll give a scenario, right?
Right.
So this is when I was in the East Coast, right?
Okay.
So it snows and all that kind of stuff. So she was at my place. So it sucks, dude. It's super cold outside. It's snowing, sleeting, all this kind of stuff. But you need to warm up the cars to like go to work and all that kind of stuff. So I got up. I was like, yo, you can take a shower, get breakfast ready, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go warm up the cars, wipe everything off, all that kind of stuff. So I went down there, did all that kind of stuff, got the car, like all that kind of stuff warm up. Came up, she was still in bed watching YouTube videos. Right?
What did I say?
And so I was like, yo, what are you doing? And then she's like, oh, I was like, we gonna be late. If you were gonna still be, I would have gone take a shower and done all this kind of stuff. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Went and jumped in, took a shower real quick, all that kind of stuff. And then like later she tells me like, yo, that was hot. All this kind of stuff, right? But like, I'm just like, but I couldn't want to be, I couldn't be that way. That's just not my personality all
Zahara,
the time.
The Zaddy this summer.
Go ahead. Tell him.
It's gonna be a white boy song. Continue.
That's it. I'm just saying, like, for me, I just...
Oh, you ain't like that?
It was cool, but it's just like, for me, I just naturally, my confidence wasn't alpha enough for it to continue. Like, that wasn't the type of relationship I always wanted to be in. You know what I mean?
She looking for a dad.
Nah, I think she just needed somebody who was much more secure and confident than I was at that point. What?
If she's like, you know what's hot? You telling me what to do. You know who tells people what to do? Dads.
Okay.
And bosses. Who is your work dad? She looking for a father.
Maybe. I guess I wasn't a father figure for her.
So what do you...
It wasn't a 50-50 situation. That's what I'm saying.
Could you do that? Could you go in the house? Yo, I said make me some toast.
I'd be like, give me $100.
Yo, get your get in the kitchen. You just make me a peanut butter and jelly.
Nah, I'd be like, I need some help with my electricity bill.
Please.
You want the lights on? Help me.
So you can't. Are you the daddy figure?
Nah. I'm too easygoing with everything that if there's an issue, I'm like, all right, cool. We gonna miss the show. There's another one 30 minutes after.
We're not like that, because when we was in Vegas and we was trying to get the rental car, I was like, nah, Chris, let's go to the other line. Chris was sweating bullets. Oh, we gotta get back home.
We also didn't have a way home, so you know.
I said, trust me.
Two different things.
Are you at home now?
I am home now, yes, but we also got the
the same day.
We also got the very, very last rental car that they had.
But I
that
made
they
away.
weren't supposed to give us.
All right, let's relax. So, anyways, let's get back to the topic that we were talking about.
I was daddy in that moment.
But
Sunil hate talking about Vegas because he know it's about the boys.
it was about the boys, and I hate when the boys are fighting. So that's why I'm trying to break this up. Anyway, so I think that in a relationship, it should be about how we make the other person's life better / easier. Right? So there's different realms in how you do that. So if you are the provider and all that kind of stuff, then the way that you make the other person's life easier, better, is by taking away maybe certain stresses that might be outside of the workspace or whatnot. Right? So that person's life is easier because, hey, their bills are getting paid by the provider. The other person's making the other person's life easier by making sure the house is kept a certain way, the food's ready, like, you know, make it emotionally supportive, all that kind of stuff. I think that's the healthy way. Now, whether the man or the woman plays those roles, I think is up for the type of personality that person has. For me, I don't know if I would like naturally want to be in a situation, because I enjoy being able to take care of my girl, and I would want her to take care of me in the ways that she could take care of me.
So you're looking for something a little bit more tradition now.
For sure. That's at least my personality, for sure.
Years ago, I wasn't able to handle somebody who was making a lot more than me, but that's because she wanted a lot more than me. Her lifestyle was very different.
Oh, we talked about it.
Right? But I think if they make more than me, but we have similar traits as far as lifestyle, then it's cool. Because the money is different. How you spending the money is what I got a problem with.
Right.
But if you're making, $500,000 a year and you're living like a normal person, and you're not expecting me to want to live the way that you live, especially pre-marriage, because the money is gonna come from me. Like what the things that we do, I'm not expecting you to pay for me and do all this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to try and match you, and you gotta recognize like I can't.
Right.
But if you have that level head on your shoulder, lay it out here. Let's fall in love.
Let's fall in love.
Man. So we'll see. Blu Jasmine, good luck to you. Anybody here would pay for OnlyFans?
Nah, I ain't paying for nobody's OnlyFans.
So,
I'm going on Reddit and trying to watch that for free.
They're not all on Reddit. That's the worst. Stupid Serena's husband. She will figure it out, yo. I'm trying to get Blu Jasmine.
Hey, we talking about BET Awards or what?
Oh yeah, hit me with it.
So I didn't watch them. I just saw certain clips and whatnot. But I heard a lot of drama.
I just heard there was a lot of black people that I was
yeah.
avoiding.
So I mean, I was paying attention to Black Twitter from the outskirts, and I saw it was a very divisive awards. It seemed like.
Oh shoot! Tell me more. I'm not even sure.
I mean, I was hoping you could, since you are in that community.
Oh shoot! Damn. We put
So
the
it just
whole
seems
thing on me.
like,
Okay, if you give it to me so I could get off on it.
So it was, from what I think the debate was it seemed like the imagery that was presented, and maybe specifically like Lil Nas X coming out of the dress, stuff like that.
Okay.
Some of the performances were a little bit, it seemed like there was a certain agenda that was being pushed, supposedly, quote unquote. These are the terms that are being used. Like I said, I didn't see it, but it seemed like there was a portion of Black Twitter that said that this doesn't represent
All black people.
And why are they using this as the imagery of what a black man should be, black woman should be, certain things like that.
All right. Let me put my thoughts together. So here's what I saw. I saw Coyle Ray and her non-binary friend. Presser was there.
Is he saying he's non-binary?
I don't even know.
Because I'm pretty sure he's saying either, man.
I don't even know. I saw that was there, the big perk. I saw that the Three Amigos was there. And I did see the clip of the Lil Nas X performance. I did not watch the whole thing. So I should state that before I state my opinion.
Okay.
So the Lil Nas X kissing a guy on the stage naturally is going to set people off. All right. Now, me as a person, okay, the first thing that comes to mind is like the two white ladies that was kissing, Gwyneth Paltrow or whatever with the other white lady, Britney Spears, whatever.
Britney Spears and Madonna.
Whatever.
Why was Gwyneth Paltrow be on this?
Gwyneth Paltrow wasn't even there.
What are we talking about right now?
I don't even know. But the two white ladies was kissing, so everybody's like, this is okay, but y'all don't like the black people kissing, the black men kissing. Yo, look, man, I ain't even like that. I ain't like what the two white ladies was kissing. Okay, I didn't like it. But the Lil Nas X thing, listen, Lil Nas X has proven to be a type of person who he is playing a very specific shock jock type role in the industry. Okay, there is nothing that Lil Nas X is doing by doing this as a performance that is making people go, yay, gay. Like, I just don't see it. I think that he's playing this role to just keep his name hot and it's lit out here in the streets so we could talk about him, so his response could be like, I don't even know why y'all upset. Yes, you do. You created the entire thing so that people can get upset. You think that you're like, come on now. Whether it's his idea or the label's idea, I don't know. But they are creating this so that people can get upset. And guess what? A year from now, when they're like, yeah, we used to be seeing people tongue kiss the devil, they're going to be like, he's going to have to do something else. He's gonna have to do something else. So it's lit right now because he knows it creates a response.
He's trying to be provocative.
Okay? There is no one is saying, you know what? I like the gays now because Lil Nas X kissed a guy in an Egyptian garb. Nobody's saying that. So clearly he's just creating buzz because he can't recreate Little Road X, whatever the song was. What was the name of the song? Country Road.
Old Town Road.
Old Town Road.
Country Roads is wrong. That's an old song.
Sorry. Shout out John Denver.
Yeah, appreciate you.
He can't recreate another big hit. He's already tried because he had a song where they gave him the budget. Okay, they gave him all the monies and it just went nowhere. Right? The song came out. It did get views because I think like once you have a big hit like old Country X, then the next song everybody's gonna be excited to hear it. But then after that, it's like it start tapering off. So he got to create something to get people excited. Do I think that BET is trying to say like this is what the black man is now? First of all, BET is owned by Viacom, so it ain't even really a black thing. It's white people just being like, yo, here's some money, go do your black thing. Okay, here's some security because we already know what's about to happen. So I think Lil Nas X knows that trolling gets views. His music is not even that great, to be honest with you. The song the Montero song, it ain't nothing too crazy, you know. But the controversy, and you imagine this: the song came out maybe 3 months ago, something like that. The video, when everybody was going crazy on the video, ain't nobody talking about it anymore. So they got to keep the streams up. They got to put him on this pedestal so that people could start talking about him again. And then, boom, I'm going to kiss a guy, and then I'm going to say, y'all didn't have a problem when Gwyneth Paltrow did it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to create the moment. It's all a game. There's nothing that he's doing there to lift his fist up in the air for the LGBT community. I don't see it that way. I just don't. If there was a guy out there who came out and I don't know, said something and was just like, hey, yo, man, I support the movement, I support love, all this stuff, then I think everybody would be like, oh, this is a nice, respectful way to do it. But the way Lil Nas X is doing is just creating shock. So, all right, create shock. He wants us to talk about it. That's all he's doing. I don't know. I think BET is just like lit. Everybody's going to be looking at this clip. We're going to put ads on it. They're going to make some money off of it. Keep it pushing. Because Hollywood and the industry, they don't care about any of this stuff. They're just trying to make sure as many people see it as possible so Ford could get their advertisement off. So that Walmart could get their advertisement. So that McDonald's could cut the check. They love Lil Nas X down at the BET. Yo, can you kiss another guy next time? Yo, matter of fact, can you kiss 6 guys next time? We'll give you 30 seconds to just kiss. Matter of fact, can you lick a nipple? Of course. They love it. The people who probably finance it probably don't even like it. They're probably like, man, this guy's weird. But anyways, he's getting us 10 million views. It is what it is. It's the industry. Now, I think that as black people, it did. I used to kind of have a feeling like, dang, they're pushing this narrative and all stuff. But you know what? I think that you as a person we got to start separating ourselves from what they want you to look like and just be yourself. Like, just be you. Don't worry too much. No, not to say don't worry about it at all, because, you know, representation is important and you want to be represented the way that you feel is the proper way. However, don't put too much credence into what the next person is doing, because if they're doing something and it doesn't match up with your lifestyle, then don't do that. That's all I gotta say. Don't do that. Don't do whatever that guy's doing. If you feel like it ain't you, go out there, be yourself, and say, if that's what they doing, that's what they doing. I'm not aligned with it, and let's keep it pushing.
Well said. I have no opinions. I didn't even watch it.
Did you see him kissing?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I didn't feel any type of way about it. I feel like right now, that's just what, like you said, representation. I think right now the LGBT community. This is their moment of having representation.
I don't think that.
I mean, I look at it because that's just one moment, but I see, more and more commercials about it. I see, obviously there's more legislation being talked about. It's more on the forefront of the conversation. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing at all. It's just like this is right now the moment where it's important for a lot of people and it's being discussed and all this kind of stuff. So that's great. For so long, it hasn't been on the forefront. It's been like a taboo subject. So that is being normalized. I think it's fine. Whatever your opinion is on it is moot to the point that let it be out there. Let it be a national discussion. Let it be normal or whatnot. And then the next thing will happen when the next thing happens. So that's what I think it is right now. Right now, it's just, I think it's not like, I think it's commercially popular to be that way right now, if that makes sense.
See, that's the thing. Like, for me, what's commercially popular is just a moment. And if you really are trying to create a sense of like, this is what our culture is, I think that just a sense of normalization is what is necessary, right? So let's say like interracial marriage was wrong, wrong socially. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the best way to showcase the okayness of interracial marriage is by showcasing the most shocking form of it, right? I think that the best way to showcase something that you think is normal, like this is totally normal. Let's not freak out about it. It's just to be normal. So when we create these huge moments, it makes it feel like this is abnormal, and that's not what the message is. That's why I keep saying, like, be a very clear communicator. For Lil Nas X, he knows that his message is not about I'm just an advocate and I'm just trying to normalize this. He just knows, like, yo, I'm about to get the clicks for this. I'm about to do this, and people are going to talk about it. It's going to get my song hot again. But there are other people who I think are showcasing the normalness of this community and this group of people, and it's not this like thing that we created for shock and we're doing it on the stage and like it like. But again, I'm not saying I have a problem with it because I get this is his job and I get it, but maybe the people who are affected by this might have an issue with it. I don't know. Yeah, I would have to ask them. I don't know. But I could see through the stuff. I could see that this is just a viral moment, and it worked.
I agree with that as well. But I also think that both are necessary, right? You're gonna need the over the top thing to start the conversation, and then there's also hopefully there'll be more representation of, like you said, normal or whatnot. But I don't think if two straight people like say Beyonce and Jay-Z were up performing and they kissed each other on stage, I don't think there'd be any discussion about it.
Actually, I think it's a little bit different, but everybody knows Bryan Cranston is my favorite actor. He was at a award show one time, and some kind of situation happened when he got up and he started making out with Tina Fey? No, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And it was such a cringy moment for me because I was like, this is so weird. And I just didn't even like seeing it because, like, I know he's a married guy, she's a married woman, and he was like trying to play this joke. But then I was like, maybe I'm the weird one here. But I get into the comments and everybody was like, yo, we do not want to see this. This is odd. Like, it wasn't even really a part of what they were doing. I'd understand if it was in a movie or something like that, but he just kind of got up and just walked up to her and just started, and it was just like, And so for me, I'm like, it's a little bit different than when a married couple is on the stage and they're performing together and they give each other a little kiss. It's like, okay, cool, But I think that sometimes, like, some of the issue is just some people don't like public displays of affection. Sure. And for me, I might be one of those people, like, if I see y'all tonguing and stuff, I'm like, ugh, nasties, So some of that too plays a part.
Sure.
But
I'm saying, like, as far as moment wise, like, it is more common to see a man and a woman kiss on camera and it not be anything. Versus
depends on what you type in.
Okay, we're talking about just like award shows, all this kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about.
Oh, okay.
Henche or whatever you say, whatever you watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to top or you want to wrap it up?
You got one more thing?
Joe Budden and Alex Jones.
I'm not educated enough to talk about it, but you got something?
It just seems like Joe Budden is starting to do a lot of is leaning into this whole white versus black thing big time.
So what kicked it off? Does anybody know?
So Alex Jones went on Andrew Schultz's show again, and went on there and all this kind of stuff. And I think Joe Budden has an issue with Andrew Schultz. I mean, we've seen that from all the back and forth on the podcast.
It's because Andrew Schultz said that Joe asked for $250 million.
That, and I think that just there's always that beef between Charlemagne and white
the camps.
And Joe Budden always took offense to Andrew Schultz speaking directly to he thinks that Andrew Schultz is kind of like vulture in black culture or whatever. So anyways, he's talking about Alex Jones being on there and giving a platform to a guy like Alex Jones, who obviously is super controversial, been banned on every single social media and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's banned on no Twitter, no Instagram. He can't be on any social media platform.
Where's his show here?
On his own he has his own website, Infowars.com, all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
so
I didn't even
he's
know that.
completely independent.
Wow.
So Joe Budden goes off, says he's a white supremacist, all this kind of stuff, brings up DJ Vlad being another white person in the all this kind of stuff. So going off on these rants about white people coming into the black culture and being on these things and like it needs to stop, basically, kind of thing. Giving platforms for white supremacists, people being vulture, a lot of the stuff that we've talked about in the past that have made me listen to him less and less. So Alex Jones came back with a rebuttal, basically saying that Joe Budden is a racist. He doesn't even know anything about Alex Jones, but just goes off of the talking points. And when there's real racism, like the people that Joe Budden supports, the big corporations that he gets funded by and all these kind of stuff, which are actually doing harmful things to the black community, not just locally, but also overseas in Africa and so on and so forth. And so I'm going back and forth. But I was listening to my friend listening to this podcast. It's called Tea with something. I don't know exactly the name, so I apologize. But she brought up a really good point, saying that she feels like Joe Budden has made some bad business decisions and he's starting to see his numbers dwindle. And he's blaming white people for it versus taking accountability for his own decisions and so on and so forth. And the reason why he says that is Joe Budden has talked about Joe Rogan being somebody who's like alt-right and all this kind of stuff. He's talked about Andrew Schultz now, Alex Jones, DJ Vlad, all these people who have consistently had these numbers that aren't being affected by any of this stuff. And then also Alex Jones was also on T.I.'s podcast months ago, and Joe Budden
T.I.'s podcast is still going on?
Expeditiously, I believe so.
Oh, sheesh. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty popular podcast. But anyways, and he never said anything about it. So basically, I guess, how do you feel about this new stance by Joe Budden, which is super pro-black, basically saying, white people shouldn't be in the space for like black people should be discussing black topics and shouldn't be giving platforms to.
You know what I love about capitalism?
What do you love?
That the market dictates the value. So you as a person cannot say, hey, the blacks, here is a white. You must consume. The market says, I shall consume or I shall not. You can't say you're not allowed to have a voice in the black community because you don't speak for the black community. The black community speaks for the black community. Now, I'm saying this as a response to what you said. I didn't hear all the stuff that Joe Budden said, but I'm just responding to what you said. I think that if this guy is saying things that resonates with black people, you just sound jealous when you're saying you're not allowed to speak. Why not? Black people like them. And if they decide one day that they don't like them, guess what guess what they'll do? They'll stop listening. So I did hear Joe talk about his numbers. He said YouTube is down, but Patreon is up. The streaming numbers are up. YouTube is down. I will take that as he says. Whatever. I, as a person who listens to the podcast, have a hard time listening to it right now. I do listen, and I try to watch the Rory and Mal show. They're both boring. They're both hard to watch. They're both missing something. But there has to be a level of consistency when you are performing at the level that Joe Budden is. And I think that he's still trying to figure out who the hell he is and what his voice is. And also, he seems to be one of the people that has a hard time accepting critique. He's done a lot of the same things over and over again without adjusting his ability to negotiate or adjusting his ability to close out something. Now, what's the name? Doc Rivers,
the coach
of the 76ers,
yeah.
right? What is his biggest critique?
Mid-game adjustments.
He doesn't know how to make adjustments. And I think that if this were a basketball game, that would be one of Joe's difficult things, because he knows how to get something off the ground, but the adjustments is what keeps it in the air. So I think that as a creator and as a person of business, you have to learn that this is what this whole capitalism thing is all about. You must offer the people what they want. And or you have to create a problem that the people need a solution for. The market dictates. Period. The market dictates. So with this beef between Joe and Alex, I've heard Joe say a lot of things that are undereducated. Where it's like he said things, I'm like, whoa, this is a weird take.
Right.
This doesn't make any sense. But he's not willing to listen to a different point of view because he's right. Boom, I'm right. And that's one of the frustrations that I have with the show, because he's not somebody who's willing to make adjustments.
What's your forecast for Joe Budden and the Rory and Mal shows?
I think Rory and Mal, the numbers are already kind of going down. They're not performers. You know, the Rory and Mal show, they will have an audience, but it'll kind of go down, and they'll get 100,000 views, 50 views, or 50,000, 50 to 100,000 views per episode over time. And I think that'll be people who are just kind of hoping that this gets better. But it is very boring, and I do support the guys, but I want a little bit more from them. I think as of Joe Budden, he's still a very charismatic guy to listen to. So it's funny because I listen to him and I disagree with like 80% of the things that he says. But I still listen, but it is just getting harder and harder to listen to. But I think that he'll make adjustments eventually to get to a point where like it's more entertaining to listen to. But I just think that the fact that he makes them late is
cool.
Yeah. All right. That's it. It's a wrap. Anybody else got anything? All right. And that's it. We're the men on the internet. Chris is over there. Sunil is over here. My name is Calvin. And we will see you guys next week.